feminist, as you all know, and I really respect the opinions of women. And that's why I'm here in this woman's only gym to ask them what they think about my brand new product, Fireblood. People often come up to me and say, Andrew, you're so tall and strong and smart and funny and charismatic and extremely rich. What supplements do you take? And I explain that coffee and cigars are the only supplements I've ever needed, but perhaps as I get old, I should look into them. So I decided to do a little bit of market research, and I was very disappointed by what I saw. All of these supplements are full of chemicals I can't name, I don't know what they are, or they're full of flavorings. I thought, why can't you have a product which is only the things your body needs? Why can't you only have vitamins and minerals and amino acids? And if you're gonna do that, why not have loads of them? I've never understood, girls, if you don't mind, I've never understood why you would have 100% of your vitamin B2 when you can have 7,692% of your vitamin B2. Along with your vitamin B6 and your iodine, magnesium, zinc, copper, all the amino acids, niacin, folic acid, vitamin A, it goes on and on. In one convenient scoop with absolutely no flavorings whatsoever. Surely, Andrew, you're a business genius. What? Who hasn't thought of taking all the minerals and all the vitamins and all the amino acids and putting them in a fantastic, easy-to-use product with no flavorings whatsoever? So I've created it, Fireblood, and we're here to see what women think of it at this Girls Only Gym. So girls, this is Fireblood, this is my product. Please give us a very honest review. Girls love it. They love it. Don't listen to what girls say. They don't mean it. They love it. And that's the best thing about Fireblood, because you know what? Life is pain. Everything good in life is going to be pain. When you go to the gym, you're supposed to suffer. Every single good thing that's going to come to you in life is going to come through pain. Your supplement, what is good for your body, is never going to taste like cookie crumble. It's never going to taste like strawberry cotton candy. And if that's what you want, you are probably gay. If you are a man and you want to be as strong as humanly possible with no garbage, only the things your body needs, then you need to get used to pain and you need to get used to suffering. And only that way will you ever become a fraction of my power and manage to achieve Fireblood. Fireblood tastes disgusting because it's good for you, and like everything beneficial in life, it's hard to swallow. Fireblood is the most disgusting product you can buy, but contains every vitamin, mineral, and amino acid required for muscle growth. Your stomach may ache a little bit after consuming Fireblood if you are a dork. If you prefer supplements which taste of cookie crumble but are full of junk, you should probably get an AIDS test because you are gay.
It's not good at all, it's very disgusting. I really feel to throw up when I'm drinking.
Do you want a supplement that makes you strong, or do you want a supplement that tastes like candy because you're fucking gay?
Very. Okay, there's someone else that had tough thing. Da Vinci's amazing too. I have some tough competition. Very tough competition.
I mean, he's hard to beat.
Yeah, it's hard to beat Da Vinci. Someone else, I won't mention him because this is live on YouTube, I think too. So, okay.
Oh, like Nick Diaz or something.
Yeah, so we can, Nick Diaz. Yep, another great vegetarian. Nick Diaz.
Vegetarian or vegan? I think whatever.
I'm vegetarian. They're mostly vegan. Same shit to you non-people. So, yeah, there's no strict format today, but we wanted to kind of talk about the billionaire pedophile class because everyone knows about Epstein. It's been the huge top right now. You're actually the top researcher on it. You have the Epstein list, which is funny. I think there's still a lot of other files. So when I say I want the list, it's just the fact we're holding it back. Yeah, so you actually have the list. A lot of people don't realize you have the list, but I think people are still just upset that Trump's clearly holding stuff back. Hey, first off, what's your thoughts on
it's not
that?
just him. It's like a lot of these people that rely on the same donor class are with him on this, and they're pressuring him too. And it was a great move by Thomas Massie to do a petition to get Congress to file to get all the information on Epstein out. And there are a lot of people who are forced to come out and say no. But why? Why in the world would you block that? You can't say threat to national security or anything.
No, I just couldn't believe my timeline with people attacking Thomas Massie for wanting to release the billionaire Jewish pedophile list. It's just like, have you gone mad? Is this an alternative world? You're literally defending Jewish billionaire pedophiles. Like, what backwards world are we in? You know, if you're Jewish, obviously they're paid or they're just morons. I don't know what to think of it.
It's because, I mean, it's hard to fathom. Like, if you're not a psychopath, it's hard to understand the Israeli partisans. Like, do they really think that God gave them that land and that they lived there in these mythical kingdoms thousands of years ago, based on a wrestling match between Jacob and an angel. Like, or is that just something they're just greedy and they're looking for an excuse to steal stuff from people? It's unconscionable what's happening in Gaza. Got some very good news on that this morning, though, morning Korea time, from Colonel Wilkerson. The next UN meeting is not going to be in New York. They've moved it. They're going to have it in Geneva, and so that means the Palestinians can participate. So what they had done is they had blocked a boss from the West Bank from going. Like, Palestinians are banned for what? For opposing?
Yeah, they tried banning Palestinians for getting genocided. It's just disgusting what's going on there. You know, the one.
Well, they've written Abbas a letter, and this is the great news. If he presents that, and he is the House Arab, all he has to do is present that, and the countries will vote 154-2. You can guess the two that will say no. Israel,
America and Israel.
States. Yeah, exactly.
Disgusting.
It might as well just be one thing, the USI or something, but this will not go to the UN Security Council, so the US cannot veto this. And if this passes, that means that international troops will be allowed to go to Gaza and intervene, as they did back in, I think it was 98 or 89. I'm getting dyslexic there, but it was for Arafat back in the day. So this is possible. But they got to make it to the 22nd of September, and Israel looks like it's gearing up for another war already. So
it's just so unconscionable what's happening. It's just absolutely disgusting. If you're not speaking up on it, you're a fucking coward. You know,
but that's what relates to these pedophile rings, because you're thinking, why is it 154-2? Why is America, and it's only America right now, and in the entire world, that's just giving full support to the Israeli slaughter of children and babies, starvation and bombing, every war crime you can think of, they do.
Yeah,
they rape prisoners. It's just
including children,
journalists, everything.
You know, it's just so disgusting. It's the red line for me. It's like, I've never lost friends over politics, but it's become to the point where, like, if you're supporting this, I don't know, I just can't really. It's just hard to be friends. Like, how can you be friends with someone supporting killing babies? You have to have a red line somewhere. I know you were supporting Trump. How disappointed are you with Trump?
Well, I wasn't supporting Trump. I was just favoring that over Harris and Biden. It was like, I would always have the caveat and say, Trump sucks. His Middle East policy sucks. He's horrible. We already had him president for 4 years. You knew how bad he was on Israel and all that. But Genocide Joe was just as bad. Harris, it was splitting hairs. I was like, well, at least we don't have pregnant men. You know?
If I had voted, I would have voted for Trump. So I respect your position 100%.
I couldn't do it. Like, I was gonna hold my nose, and I was like, I just can't vote for him. But it's the same position I had with Obama and McCain.
So you ended up not being on the vote either.
Anyway, and whatever. But like with Obama and McCain, I can't think of one positive thing about Obama. Like, he invaded Libya, and I knew what a piece of shit he was when he was running. But John McCain, he is worse. So
that's just so insane, but it's true.
Oh, I want to show everybody what I'm wearing today.
You obviously know all this. Yeah, see what you're wearing. Fuck Israel. I love it. Where can people buy those? Support your
antineocon.com. We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you're like one of the top
cactus above my head.
Support Ryan.
It's a symbol. We always say fuck him with a cactus.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, so a lot of it's the bribery from AIPAC and UDP and all these other lobbies that are totally foreign lobbies. And some of it's the threat from those same groups when they're attack dogs like the ADL, SPLC, Canary Mission, Camera, all these groups that'll label you anti-Semite, defame you.
I'm on all of their lists.
The anti-defamation. Yeah, me too. I've been
sure
on
you are too. Yeah,
decades. Actually, no, I didn't get hit up by the ADL till 2011 that I know of, but it's not like I sit there and check it.
I'm so glad I'm late to this. That must just what you've suffered through the years. So thank you again for all the sacrifices you've made.
It's like, thank you for your service.
It was, no, but it's really
October 7th or
you were like suffered so bad, financially.
Well,
so many ways.
Yeah, but there were trailblazers before me.
I just want to know that we appreciate that. Well,
I appreciate
you're long because people will thank me, and it's like, bro, I've been doing this a couple of years. Like, guys like Ryan truly deserve the respect. That's why I have so much respect for you. So
I appreciate that, but there were people before me too. There have been people
Very
at
fair.
just 30 or 40 years, you know, that Norman Finkelstein's and some of
Henry
these
Ford.
guys, Richard Falk and Jim Loeb and stuff. Yeah, like they've been at it a long time. And then there've been people with me about equal amount of time, 20, 25 years at least. But it was so few you could almost count us. I was
Yep. You
talking
were
to a friend of mine, Varg, yesterday about Allison Weir or something. And he was like, you know, back like prior to October 7th, we could almost name or put everybody in the room. There's probably like 200 people that were like active English speaking, you know, anti-Israel. Like, and now it's uncountable. It's like the whole earth. But
Yep.
it really moves me when I see like some 16-year-old on TikTok talking about the apartheid regime and laying out the history and everything. I'm like, man, all it took was free
Amazing.
speech. All it took was X and
Well,
TikTok
and a
allowing
genocide.
us to communicate, and then everybody
Free
figured it out.
speech and the genocide. You know, the Palestinians are sacrificing for us. It's like we have to give them a little.
I think it's
I don't
free
know the proper
speech. I
word
mean,
to give them.
they
It is free
slaughtered
speech too.
Palestinians in
I just
Cast
kept
Lead. They did it in Protective Edge. They did it in Pillar of Defense. They did it in the March for Peace in 2018 and 19. They attacked them in 2021. And in all those things I just named, they blew up hospitals. They did all the same shit like as they're doing now. Not as for as long a period, but they murdered thousands of people, and it didn't move the needle. It
true.
really took being able to show these images on Twitter, because it's not like it took 2 years to get to this point. A few months after October 7th, people were red pilled. So
Yeah.
that's the same length of time as prior operations. The free
I was
speech
already
was the
talking.
game
Yeah,
changer.
I was already talking to
Yeah.
guys like you before October 7th, so it was starting to break through to me. But then after October 7th, it was like, whoa, just the level of it was just insane. Like I'm like, this guy Ryan's cool, but he might be a little bit crazy. And then I'm like, no, he's not crazy at all.
No,
It's
and they
just
bombed
like,
Beirut and Lebanon, and they had the pager bombing. They just decapitated the entire cabinet in Yemen. I mean,
right?
how do you
Imagine
do
if any
that
other
and
government
no
did that. It's just,
consequence?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they likely killed or involved with killing JFK, 9/11. You're the one that's done the research and all that. We're not going to get into those today. I saw
Both
next
those
week was
things, yeah.
9/11, and for a second I was like, oh, maybe I should switch Ryan out, but but we'll do that another time.
I got a
Hopefully Ryan.
film coming out on it, and I'm almost like, I don't want to say tired of it, but it's just
Yeah,
that's
I do want to have
I've
a
been
talk with
doing
you one of these
9/11
times, though.
stuff every day on this
We do have
thing,
to have
and
that
I just
talk
like
one of these times, though, because you are the expert on it. Eventually we'll have
I
that
think
talk.
like
Maybe
let the
after
film
film's
come
out.
out and I'll react to that, because this is going
Perfect.
to be the definitive work on 9/11, like more than Empire and Mass. This is going to be this is it. I've got I've put years of work into this one, and we've got it close to new mech level production, so it's going to be
Nice.
something.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but let me.
what I want to talk about is some of these other billionaires,
Yeah,
because it's the oddest weird thing is I'm really glad that Epstein got all this attention, and like it's awesome. But there have been arrests since Epstein that maybe got half day of news and disappeared, of billionaires who raped children for decades and essentially got away with it up until their like 80s, when they got one foot in the grave anyway. And then they start going after them. People like Peter Nygard, Mike Jeffries, and Robert Miller.
yeah.
You know, some of the
How
richest
many
men
of
in
them are?
Canada.
How many of them happen to be of the one ethnicity? I just realized it's in
Well,
YouTube, so I can't. Careful the way you word
I
things.
don't think Miller was, or Nygaard, but
Mm.
Jeffries and Smith and Jacobson and Kraft. That, like, I can name a whole bunch that were.
So it's a very
Yeah.
high percentage. Do you think any
It's
of these were like
disproportionate, but it's also because that's who can get away with it. Like,
That's
if you
just
want to,
wild.
get away with a crime, just involve the Israelis, and Americans will look the other way.
They just openly. I live in Las Vegas. They just openly went and got that guy out of prison and sent him back. It's just so in your face and so disgusting. And pedophilia should be the red line for any American, any human. That should be the red line. You know, if you're like
It is.
supporting
It's
that,
just
you're
not reported usually. The Vegas incidents where those 6 people got arrested, and Israel's head of cybersecurity just gets to go back to Israel. That's not an uncommon thing. Israel is a safe haven for pedophiles globally, and they know it. Or any crime. A Jew can do the most heinous things, rape, whatever, and then flee to Israel and they won't be extradited. And they don't get arrested when they land in Israel either. Like, was it to Goy? Oh, that's fine. Like they don't even consider it
Yeah.
wrong.
I read the guy involved with the cartels, the 43 missing Mexican students, was this massive news. The head investigator turned out, he was involved with the killing. I'm not sure if he's Jewish or Mexican, but it showed there must be some Israeli connection because they brought him to Israel and he fled there and they won't extradite him. You see stuff
Yeah.
like that and you're like, wow, the most evil, evil people. But no, let's get into these billionaires because I don't quite
Their whole
understand how this
their
like
vice
works.
counsel got caught organizing rape tourism in Brazil with another. His name was Ari Shur. He had a Hebrew language teacher named George Steinberg, and these were like little kids, like 8, 9 years old.
Jesus.
And they got they had so much chutzpah, they were so flamboyant and had so much hubris that they had taken some pictures with the swimming pool Israeli consulate in the background, and people recognized, hey, that's at the Israeli consulate. I've been there, and unraveled it. Steinberg got raided and jailed, but the Israeli government employee just flown back to Israel, no consequence. And they were raping like 8 and 9-year-old kids and selling
Another
this
one in
shit.
Colombia I was reading. I can't remember the names, but the same thing in Colombia. There was a massive,
Yeah,
they were
former
some
IDF
Israeli tourists, these
soldiers.
kids. Yep. And again, they all got brought back to Israel. Like the government's put pressure on and let these people out. You see it. It's just like sickening that they can just do this with zero consequences. So bold, so blatant, in your face. The news doesn't cover it, so no one fucking knows. They bury it. It gets pushed down. And I don't know, it
Gang
pisses me
rapes
off a
in
lot. I'm sure you
Cyprus
feel the
and-
same.
Yeah, it's like, and the culture for a lot of these CEOs and hedge fund managers and stuff, the kind of people around Epstein, his cadre, it's always been like that. And you got to be careful not to go too far the other direction, like this whole believe all women. Like, no, you don't believe or reject people just because. You have to look at these specifics and figure out what the evidence is, and then you decide whether it's true. But there were some major busts also related to the same backbone of Epstein. Epstein's backbone was Les Wexner and Charles Bronfman. Those are the two.
Yes.
And
Why don't you
then
fill in real quick for the
later you
audience,
get
real
Leon
quick,
Black. Them. All right. So yeah,
I know a
Les
little about them, but I
Wexner.
think it's very important. Just a very quick overview of who they are.
It's important, yeah, because his
a lot of
principal
people back there probably don't
financier
know.
was all from one guy. Like he had one client, is Les Wexner, and Les Wexner was an Israeli asset. So is Epstein. So is Maxwell. But Wexner is much older gentleman. I think he's probably like 82 or something like that now. He was part of the original. He's kind of the bridge between Rudolph Schoenborn, which is the first generation, and Epstein, which is the second generation. He's kind of the in between. The Wexner Foundation was used to launder money for Israeli politicians because a lot of Jewish diaspora, they can't. It's illegal to donate or participate in an Israeli election, but they do it
Really?
anyway. Well, yeah, if you're in America or Canada, you can't donate to an Israeli politician, right? So, but they can if they pay for advertising or they have some other way of getting the money to them. And they were doing that for Ehud Barak, who is a former prime minister of Israel. They did it while he was becoming prime minister of Israel. Millions of dollars from the Wexner Foundation, which Jeffrey Epstein was on the board of trustees of. This is the same man that gifted Epstein a house. He also bought a house from Epstein. What they did is they started a company in New Albany, Ohio, not New York, the Ohio one, same name. And it's a Jewish neighborhood. It was a way of having them on the payroll without being on a payroll. So Epstein bought a house to flip, and then the Wexner company, which is just him and Epstein, bought the house for double the price. And so it's like, oh, I didn't pay him. I just bought a house for way more than what it was worth from him. And in return, Epstein would take Wexner's money and wash it through the Caribbean, where he had about half of the government of St. Thomas on his payroll. They had a thing down there called the Economic Development Program, where if you spent $100,000, which is nothing to these people, and you had, I think, 10 employees, then you could get a 90% tax rebate. And Epstein ended up getting 96%. So for a guy like Wexner, you could be saving hundreds of millions of dollars on skipping out on taxes. So that's exactly what they did. And
Epstein
it
owned
was
a
also a
bank?
nifty place where he was getting visas for the girls that he was pimping out to people. Is he would say they were going to art school in the Caribbean and they would never go to class and never, but they would get a student visa. And Cecil DeRhodes and Stacey Plaskett and some of the people that Epstein was paying off helped him get visas for these girls. They even wrote emails to him asking if the language of legislation they had created for sex offenders was okay with him. Because he was,
Wow.
after he got arrested the first time, he was a registered sex offender, which limits how you can travel and when you can travel. They had the rules changed from 21 days to 24 hours
Just for
notice
him?
just for him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you know he owned a bank? I'm sure you know that. Like he owned a private bank, apparently, Epstein. I don't quite
He
understand
didn't own it,
what
but
you do with your own bank, or he has like okay, what was it then? Like, he had some connection, right?
yeah, well, he worked for Bear Stearns, which is one of the financial instruments, but he also he had a guy named Jess Staley who he worked at Barclays and then he worked at JP Morgan Chase. And Epstein would bring them clientele, which is hilarious because if you're a billionaire, the bank will come to you. It's not like you gotta like help
Yeah.
to get in or anything, right? So, but what he's really done is he has an insurance policy on these people. And Staley was into cosplay with girls. Unclear if they were underage or not, because not all of Epstein's girls were kids. Some were like 20, 22, whatever. Still, it's forced, so it's still rape.
Yeah.
And prostitution is also illegal, even if some of you think it shouldn't be, it is. And we have internal emails to that where he's talking about dressing them up like Snow White and Belle from Beauty and the Beast and stuff. Because one of the things Epstein and Maxwell did, they had this catalog where the girls were like dressed like a maid, a nurse, a princess from Disney, or
Interesting.
whatever, and they would without a name or anything. So they would, when they communicated about it, they would talk about the character from whatever movie or whatever, and not the name. It was another way of dehumanizing too.
Yeah, they dehumanize a lot. I bet a lot of these guys are also married. That was an aspect, and I'm assuming sometimes they'd probably use underage girls without telling the guy. The guys wouldn't know. We also don't know that.
And a lot of it they don't want to know. You know what I mean? Like he wants to be able to. I didn't know her age, or I thought she was 18. And like, did you ask?
Yeah. As far as
no, you
really young
didn't.
kids, we don't really know. There's not hard evidence of that, but it's also very possible.
It's possible you could get a 17-year-old with an inch of makeup at a party and trick somebody, but that's not really what happened. Like a lot of these guys, let me explain this to the whole audience, and this will go
Yeah.
for the other billionaires I'm going to talk about too. The people at Bear Stearns, and I'm just using them as an example. Any of these financial institutions already know how to launder money. They don't need Epstein's help there.
Interesting.
All these people know how to order escorts or go to Vegas or what. They don't need help finding prostitutes. The only thing that's special that Epstein has that they wouldn't be able to just go buy easily is kids.
Wow. That's
If you think
that's a
about it,
powerful
like
way to
every
think about it.
rich
But no,
guy
it makes so much sense.
knows how to go on
They-
Instagram fishing and just find somebody that will
They
or
they
go
can
get
go
a-
on,
the
they can go
masseuse
and bribe
parlor.
prostitutes,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or
They
or
get
a lot of the
hookers,
rich
they
guys
go
are
to
trying
get
to convince
escorts.
other guys that are cool
Exactly.
to bring girls that aren't hookers to their house. Like back when I was fighting, where all the rich guys always try, hey, bring a bunch of girls to my like mansion because they have no game, but they can bring girls over, or they can get hookers. But damn, that's dark. But the one thing they don't
And
have
it's
access
also
to
a third
is
party.
kids.
They don't pay the girl; they pay a guy who brings the girl. So the money went to him, not to her. So he never paid her, but then that other guy's paying her. So that's why they have pimps. Thing is, I don't want to explain how prostitution works. I'll just say this: all these guys know how to do it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows escorts aren't. It's like some escorts are escorts, maybe, but there's always a back page in
Yeah.
the magazine, 7-Eleven, whatever, that escorts are definitely prostitutes. And they know how to go get happy ending massages, and they know how to just find gold diggers or whatever. I mean, it's not hard.
Yep.
And they definitely know how to launder money. That's that's what they do.
But they
So,
don't know where to find kids. That's
It
just so
is
evil
hard
and
to
dark.
find a 12-year-old. Yeah, that's no escort service is going to provide that. Well, some,
Yeah.
but
I want
so
to add
that is.
something.
But the other thing is the relationship to Israel. Like that's so a lot of these people, they're not being blackmailed; they're being rewarded. They already mess with kids, but it's a way of
Rewarding the
sometimes
donors.
compromise. It's a type of insurance kind of. It's like you're never going to leave the gang because we got you doing this.
But we're going to
It's
keep
not a do
rewarding
it or else type
with
of
what you
blackmail.
want.
It's like prove you're one of us. Do this thing, and now we know. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I would like to add something again to learn from you. A lot of people think it's mostly politicians. Wasn't it mostly like finance and tech guys that were part of the Epstein thing?
Right. It was they were spying on science and technology, and they figured out the the best rate of return. Return on investment. Your best ROI is to go after the donor class that finances the science and tech, and go after the donor class that finances the politicians. Because if you get the donor class, you get everybody under them. So if you were able to control Miriam Adelson, for example, or someone like that, she already runs a bunch of people. So you want to run the people running people. And for a lot of these universities that do R&D and have sit on trade secrets and work with private companies on cutting edge technology and science, you would just hit the donors of those universities, and then they can put the squeeze on them, and then you get all the trade secrets, and they end up in Israel.
So it was
that
really
was something
about
they were
donors
targeting.
and the trade secrets and technology, way more than
Mm-hmm.
blackmailing politicians, right? That's I
What
think
the
most people kind
APAC
of think
already
it's
runs
the
the
opposite.
politicians. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
also you don't know who's going to win an election or not. Like they're replaceable, or they're only there a certain number of years, and then another person, then you got to get that. You don't have to mess with that if you have the donor class. They will all fall in line.
Yep.
But there were certainly people like Dennis Hastert that was, he'd rape little boys and who were
Jesus. Who is that?
compromised.
That name sounds familiar, but I don't know who
He
he
was
is.
the Speaker of the House.
Oh my God.
He is the third highest position.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And there
God.
was 3 in a row that all had sexual impropriety. Newt cheating on his wife who was like dying of cancer or dying from something. They blackmailed governors. I mean, Charles Kushner blackmailed Jim McGreevey of New Jersey and
Wow. Is
ended up
that
going to
Jared
jail.
Kushner's dad or who's that?
Yeah, it's Jared Kushner's dad.
Who was pardoned by Trump, I believe?
Yeah, he's hired by
It's just,
Trump. He already
yeah,
did
and then
his time in jail, though. He went to jail for years and got out. But he set a honey trap on his own brother-in-law
wow.
at
What
a 2-star
disgusting,
at the Red Bull Inn in New Jersey.
such
Is
disgusting people. Or like Howard
Mhm.
Lutnick, his own brother went to work that day. I think he inherited an fortune when his brother died. And it's like Howard Lutnick happened to skip work that day and then bought a house off Jeffrey Epstein.
He
Or,
was his
or
neighbor
Wexner, actually. Yeah.
from
Bought a house
Wexner, but
off
he lived right next to
Wexner.
him,
Yeah. And
next
units
to
9 and
Epstein's.
11. Yeah. I think it was 9 and 11 were their numbers too at the house. Just like, it's just so crazy when you start seeing what they say every single time.
There's a lot of that, and
Right.
Lutnick is an advisor to Trump. He's like the new Anthony Blinken, the little guy in the shadows, telling him what
They
to
all have a
do.
shadow. Yep.
Man,
Blinken even said,
it's like let's
I,
see who's going to be the new Rahm Emanuel, the new Lutnick, the new Anthony Blinken. Like there's somebody constantly in their ear.
oh yeah, it's just so deep and so dark. But I feel a little encouragement. It's been so many years. You must have felt discouraged, but do you feel like encouraged with the current awakening that's happening?
I've been waiting for something like this for about 2 decades of. I always thought like, because I was blanket banned since like 2005, and I said
From
if I could
everywhere.
just on stuff, even when things, even like Live Leak, Daily Motion, I was banned on all the AOL, MySpace, not just
You couldn't even enjoy MySpace. MySpace was so much fun. You
Mhm.
missed out.
I was on it for a little while, but they banned me because of the 7/7 bombings in London. I was going off on that, and I got banned. And then um, I was talking about Epstein too, but not till about '07. So I had a YouTube for a little while. That got banned. Who cares? Like, but I always thought if I could get on a platform for more than a couple weeks, you know, and build it up, which I was able to do on X and Substack, then it would make a difference because they wouldn't ban us if we didn't matter.
No,
It's not
you
just out of
you-
spite. Like the reason they ban people is they
100%.
know, yeah, they know
You're
that
making a difference.
you have a huge impact. Whether people plagiarize or steal, whatever, it's still getting out. You know, like, and for me, that's Epstein. That's September 11th. That's the RFK, JFK. All these major events. I've really done deep dives, films, all that into
Yeah,
it.
you've gone on to like every event, which is crazy. Like when you came on and did RFK, my show, people that haven't watched that should go and find it. You know, you broke that down so well. People, a lot of
Yeah,
people
you're like,
haven't
oh,
heard
you want to know what
They
happened?
were
I'll
blown
tell
away.
you.
So many people were like,
Yeah.
"Who was that guy?" I was absolutely blown away. Hopefully, I can help get you onto some bigger podcast than mine. You know, I have mid-sized one.
I
would
can
love
do
to
the
try to
same
get
thing
you
for
on some.
JFK.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, I would love to
It
hopefully
takes a
someone like
long
Candace
time.
or Candace or Tucker or Joe Rogan or hopefully get some of these guys to
Yeah, I
speak
don't
to
know
you
if they'll
because you
ever
are like
do
an
that.
encyclopedia.
I mean, it'd be great, but
Hard to
like
say.
they all know who I am, and I don't get a phone call, so whatever. But I get it.
Yeah,
They're
I
afraid of
mean,
getting banned, probably.
oh yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, that's things are changing though. So maybe some people's egos get in the way too. They don't want you kind of get a lot of people kind of steal your stuff and don't credit you. That's why I try to, but then sometimes I don't realize it's your work I'm sharing, and I'm like, oh, that's from Ryan too.
Yeah, usually, but it's also because people go behind my back and say that guy's a white supremacist, blah 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 blah, blah, and which is absolute crap.
Dude,
you
you're
know?
not at all. That's like,
No, I
yeah,
hate
you're
those
not racist at
people.
all.
Like, no, not,
Yeah,
not
you
at all.
actually feud
I
quite
race
a
mix
bit
every
with the
day.
white supremacists. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you over in Korea with
Yeah, I chose
beautiful
to
Korean
live
women.
somewhere that's 99.9% not white. And it was the same in Japan. But these,
Yeah, no, but
so, so I was alluding to something earlier, though, when I was talking about Wexner and Bronfman. You will see
mhm.
them again in some of these other pedophile rings. They're like the Kevin Bacon of
Wow.
pedo rings. You saw them in the Nexium cult because Bronfman's
Yes.
children, well, that was Edgar, not Charles, but that's all Seagram's people. They, Claire and Sarah financed the Nexium cult, and not like in a small way, like in $100 million
Really?
way. Yeah.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah, that's like all the money.
that's a
Like,
lot. That's some serious money.
and for people who don't know what that was, it was a sex cult where they were branding women like you brand a cow, you know, with like hot metal. Uh, and there were convictions. I mean, one of the Bronfmans went to jail, but you know, officially, oh, that's not from Edgar or Charles. That was just their daughters did it. What do you? Why? Why would you pump in millions of dollars into a sex cult? Like, what were you going to use all the girls for?
Blackmail probably, unless you just
Because
like
that's
abusing women.
expensive sex, man. Like, what would you
100,
really
yeah,
do?
$100 million. You could get a lot of women cheaper than that. No, it's got to be some type of blackmail operation. That's interesting because
it's
the Bronfman
compromise.
and
You're
Wexner's,
farming. You're actually like farming honeypots, is what it seemed like.
yeah, and don't they started an organization called, is it Mega or MAGA? The Bronfman
Well,
and
there's
Wexner, they have some
the
organization.
mega group is something
Mega group. There you
I
go.
called it, and now everyone just says it like that's just my nickname for these. Like,
Oh, so that wasn't an
clickability.
official name. That was just what you
No.
started.
Yeah,
That was what you started calling them.
they don't call
Interesting.
themselves that or anything. It's the mega
That's funny. That
donors
was interesting.
is what they used to be called. They would say, "Let's go to the mega," meaning the mega donors. There was an incident from two APAC officials, Keith Wiseman and Steve Rosen, who got caught spying with this underling named Lawrence Franklin. And there's this whole big ordeal in the DoD about it. Patrick Fitzgerald was the lawyer, was going after it for years and years. They end up suing each other, and it was a mess. And in that ordeal, someone was like, should we go to Mega? And people were like, who's Mega? Like, who would have the power to overturn this? But it was just short for, should we go to the Mega donors? And that's the mega group, which is your Steinhardts and your Bronfmans and your Wexner and these people. Like, yeah, that's what that was. And I got no credit on that. And a certain lady stole that completely and has no source in her book for it. It just says it, you know, like whatever. But
no,
they are the mega
power
donors.
of these people. Yeah, no, they're like some of the most powerful people because, like we said, boom, we got Epstein, that's financed, and then Bronfman financing the other one, Nexium cult, is that what it's called?
That was one of the minor ones they did. So that one has convictions. I think Sarah and Claire both got in trouble. I forget which one went to jail, but one of them did, and that was a pretty bad stain. But the Bronfmans also financed Ehud Barak through the Wexner Foundation. So, and that was like $2.5 million that they pumped through that into his coffers through Reporty Carbine. It was a security company. Because like I said, you can't donate to an Israeli politician, but you can donate to his company. Oh, I'm just invested in security. Like, but then it's easy to shift the money around. Anyway, the Bronfmans and Wexner were doing that. And the Bronfmans actually, Charles Bronfman sold a house to Robert Miller, which was the richest man in Quebec. And at the time, I think it was the first or second highest house that had ever been sold in Canada. And this becomes the headquarters for this serial rapist he raped high school girls and lower for about 30 years. They would call him the hockey bag bandit. That's my name for him. And he knew the Bronfmans and he knew Wexner too. But he's like living in Charles's house. Like, how creepy is that? His former house.
Yeah.
It's one of the only houses, by the way, on Google, like maps or whatever. It's just blacked out. Like, can't see it. Can't see the yard.
Really?
They blacked the whole. Yeah.
Wait, was this in Canada or U.S.?
It's in his house is in Canada. Yeah.
It's in Canada.
See, the Bronfman family
like
itself is from
Canada.
Was from the Jewish mafia. Like, Samuel Bronfman actually goes before that, but we'll just skip. They start Seagram's Liquor, and the way Seagram's Liquor became successful was not because they make really good liquor. It's because during Prohibition, they figured out a loophole where if you sold liquor as medicine, then you could, even though it's like 35% alcohol, and then you put a little cinnamon in it, whatever, like, oh, it's medicine for headaches or for this or that. And they were selling medicine while everyone else, there's distilleries and stuff, are going out of business. They were buying them up and then continuing to sell liquor and just relabeling it as drugs, as you know, medicinal, and it wasn't. And so they got a kind of a monopoly from that. And that's how they made their money. And then they started buying up other existing businesses that were already successful. So it's nothing they created. It's just something they bought that now it's under them, and it continues to make money as it was already doing. And Wexner, he didn't create Victoria's Secret. He bought it in the 80s. He did not create Abercrombie and Fitch. He bought it in 1988. So he took companies that were already working and then absorbed them.
Where did he originally get his money? Some of it doesn't make sense. You know, you guys have like too much money just like coming out of nowhere.
From Israel, like they'll say,
that's what it seems like,
he was
right?
just a really awesome entrepreneur that, you know, opened up a store in a mall, and his parents backed him a little bit, and then he opened another store. Like, bullshit. Like, Wexner,
some of these Jewish billionaires, the money that doesn't seem to make sense.
You cannot be a billionaire without the state.
And that's
nobody's that good at
billionaire.
Nobody has
the billionaires in America are Jewish.
My T-shirts are so awesome; they're better than everything else on the planet. Everyone's gonna buy them from me, and no one else. Like, no, that's not what happened. Like, no. And these businesses start pulling a lot more money on paper, but you gotta understand how all the money laundering and stuff that's going on. And the modeling agency part of it too, like Victoria's Secret, they put out a free catalog with like girls in lingerie and stuff. Pre-internet, that was what boys needed. Like Victoria's
That's all we could get. I'm thankful now. Looking back and internet porn, that's the best we could get.
Yeah, lingerie in the Sears catalog. That was your choices. Like there wasn't.
that was the hardcore pornography that we had.
pretty much that's as much as it went. Stephanie Seymour or whatever from I think she started dating Axl Rose, whatever. But the modeling agency is also a way, not Victoria's Secret as much as Abercrombie. Like Abercrombie has children's clothing, so they need child models. So they could actually recruit children, good-looking children, and say, well, this is for this. And then you can see how that can go awry pretty fast. The entire modeling industry is pretty sketch anyway. Runway, it doesn't matter what it is. It's very sketchy. Very casting couchy, too, I should say. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to get into Mike Jeffries from Abercrombie first or more on Robert
I would
Miller,
love to. I don't know him. Real quick, but yeah, before we dive in, let's real quick see if we have any super chats yet. Oh, yeah, people like, subscribe. I need to remember to tell people, Fight Back Podcast, if you want to buy merch and support. Also, I'm Antelope Hill Publishing is a base book sponsor. So if you want to buy books, go there. Make sure to put promo code FIGHTBACK to save. Let's see if we have any super chats or not yet.
You got your clothing line too, right?
Yeah, Fight Back Podcast. I sell this stuff in the clothing line. Like, well, this is a jiu-jitsu shirt I'm wearing. But yeah, I've been making up lots of stuff. Like, guys like us get banned everywhere, so we have to find ways to make. I mean, not that I do it for money. I'm happy to do it for free. But let's see.
I got banned from Teasley and Teespring.
From what?
So like I'm on my third clothing company.
Okay, let's see real quick if we have any soup chats. What's Ryan's plan to cue? It's a little off topic, so maybe we should. I wonder if we should hold off on some of these, or let me read a couple
just
of them
say
real quick.
I'm just dumb, whatever.
Well, real quick, let's go. What are your thoughts on the lost boy Amir supposedly turning up alive and pro-Israel people using that to try and discredit Aguilar?
Oh, shut up, dude.
Yeah,
the Israelis lie. There was I'll tell you a sicker story is this girl. The family was told that she was dead and a body was even produced. It's all charred up or whatever. So they buried somebody. Then they found out a couple weeks ago their daughter didn't die. But what happened was worse. God. She got her spine injured and she's been in an Israeli dungeon. And you know what they've been doing to her.
Yeah, raping and torturing.
Every day. She can't move her legs. So
it's just so evil, man, the stuff they do. Right, here another super chat. Tell us about your intellectual upbringing. When did you start thinking about politics, history, etc.? We'll go through these pretty quick.
You or me?
That's for you. We'll go through these pretty quick since it's in the middle of the thing. I figure we should jump into a few of them real quick before we get into, what'd you say, Jeffries?
Mike Jeffries, yeah. I guess around 5th grade, I got political, arguing the need for a line item veto to cut pork out of bills. And I was also pretty adamant about a local issue in North Carolina to prevent beach erosion because I saw my father's business like basically get swallowed by the ocean and other people's houses and stuff. And I'm like, this was preventable. Every coast on the East Coast has jetties or breakwaters or something to prevent beach erosion except for North Carolina. It's because of these psychotic environmental groups, pseudo-environmental. They don't really care about the environment. It's about control. And
Yeah, 'cause I'm pro-environment, but these people aren't actually helping the environment. I think that's important because care about the environment is important. But these people,
but that's
not
not
helping
what
the environment. Yeah,
Sure.
so it's important to distinguish that. All right, let's hit 2 more of these super chats and we'll go on. And thanks, by the way, people are sending super chats. If the full Epstein list clients were released completely uncensored, do you think it would change the system, or would the system still absorb it and move on? Second question from the same person: how much of the Epstein story do you think is controlled opposition, curated to keep people away from the truth? And what are your thoughts on Pizzagate? So it's 3 questions from the same guy. So do you want me to read
If
those
the
separately,
actual lists were out, that would be very hard. It is out, but if the authorities would say it, it would do a lot of damage. It's almost like too big to jail because there's so many super wealthy people on that list. The system, you could never trust it again. And this does need to happen because you shouldn't trust them. What was the second part of that one? It was
second one was, how much of Epstein's story do you think is controlled opposition, curated to keep people away from the truth?
So it depends on who you're hearing the story from, because there's a lot of QAnon kook stuff about Epstein that is completely false. Mm-hmm. And it's just to discredit. Whenever you have something that impactful that could tear the whole system down, they're going to put out adjacent false stories.
Yep.
So it's so that if that gets debunked and then this gets debunked and this, they go, oh, maybe the whole thing, they're hoping you'll throw the baby out with the bathwater. So some of these survivors, some of them are mentally ill. Some of them, that's because they got abused.
Well,
But they'll
yeah,
get
I
to
was
this
about to add that. A lot of it's probably because
pretty
they were
ridiculous
abused.
stuff. And it's like, yeah, but look, like the JP Morgan lawsuit, for example, you got over 300 victims. You can't cherry
Wow.
pick 2 or 3 loopy ones. And be
Crazy
like,
ones.
see, they all made it up. Like, no, those 2 were just whatever. They did it. I mean, this is concrete. That's what happened. So
We're not
I don't
to
think
give
the
away that
Epstein
kind of.
story's really been told, because the version I see all these fake lists, lazy things like they just cut and pasted flight logs or something, or they've added crap like Tom Hanks and DiCaprio and all, who are not Epstein clients. You can hate them independently for something else, but they're not Epstein
But yeah,
clients.
let's not like lie about them. Let's whether you
Yeah,
hate
they
them or
didn't
not.
do that. Like, and
At least not
because
with
people are
him.
obsessed with celebrity sex, that's what it is. And it's weird because like they're all upset, like they rape kids. I'm like, they're killing kids in Gaza right now. Does that not?
Yeah, like there's
They did it in
video of
Syria,
it.
they did it
Like
in Iraq and Libya, and you didn't give a shit then. They did it in Yemen. Oh well, you know.
yeah, some
I'll
people
take it
can't
as a
even get
W.
enough.
Like whatever
All
it
right.
takes. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
And the last one from this guy. What are your thoughts on Pizzagate?
So that's another one where you had the core of it was a legit story. They got Alex Jones into La La Land. So, and they would
Yep.
say stuff that was very easy to debunk so that people would stop looking at it at all. For example, they would say
This
the
is
Podesta
exactly what
brothers were in
happened with
Spain or
Pizzagate.
whatever. It's actually a police sketch. It's this, 2 possible sketches of one guy. They were not even in Spain at the time. And fuck the Podestas. And I can give you a ton of actual stuff
Yeah.
on them, but that is
There's
not
some
one
more
of them.
sick
And
people who probably are pedos, but it's like, but they send misdirection on purpose, like sending the gunman in, and all of a sudden they can
they're
censor
saying
it
there's a
because pieces
tunnel
of it are true.
from Ping Pong or Comet Pizza to an orphanage where there's
Comet
no
ping pong. Yeah.
tunnels. There's no fucking tunnels. There's no tunnels on under Epstein Island either. Why would you need that? Like, you're already on a private island. He owned 2 islands, by the way. So
Well, yeah, you
they'll
probably
put
want to
out
make there, but there has been
disinformation.
places with tunnels in these people. They have been known for
Yeah,
tunnels.
but not on the island.
Yes, yeah, sure, yeah, I guess we wouldn't need them there. That's true.
When I saw that
So one more
that day where those Chabad Levovich guys were popping out of the sewer, it was too much, man. It's like,
It was like I just lost it, bro. Like I just can't even like.
I
This is the
just-
funniest thing
is
I've
this
ever seen.
AI?
He's just coming out of a tunnel, bro. It's like he crawls out of the sewer. The one where he crawls out of the sewer tunnel. Like what the fuck is this? Is this real life? It is. We are living in strange times.
It's like when George
read one-
Floyd stole a banana, and I'm like, no, come on, who did that?
Oh, I didn't even know that one. Oh my god, George.
I was like, who did that? That's too soon. And no, it was real. He was using fake money, stealing
He
fruit.
stole a banana. Oh my god. Okay, let me hit one more super chat and then we can do them at the end. Thoughts on Ari bin
Menashe.
His name right? Menashe corroboration.
Well, yeah, Ari Ben Menashe worked for Israeli military
sure who this is.
intelligence with Doug Leese and recruited Epstein and Maxwell, because this is when Robert Maxwell was still alive. So they brought him in the wing, and he admitted it, and his boss admitted it. So everyone's like, how do you know that Epstein was with Mossad? Like, because they said he was.
It's very obvious. So
I mean, the other agents for military intelligence said, yes, he worked for us. And knew him. And also Steve Hoffenberg said the same thing. And this was back before Epstein got rearrested. This was many, many, many years ago, saying, and he mentioned Doug Leese by name and Ari Ben Menashe and the whole clique. So like that's been corroborated. I always mess that word up. That's been corroborated.
right.
And Ari Ben Menashe is still alive, and he'll tell you now, he is an Israeli and he does lie about stuff. And I've caught him in his lies. But
Shocking
as far as
that he would
Epstein
lie.
working with me, yeah, shocking that Israeli intelligence would lie to people. But as far as Epstein goes, that's solid. I mean, for sure. And Robert Maxwell was also an asset. He was not an agent. He was an asset, and there's a difference. But he was an asset for Israel. He got the king's funeral, where the heads of Shin Bet and Mossad attended. And this is a foreign national, and they're having a funeral for him in Israel. He was pushed off a boat naked, by the way.
Yeah, they likely killed him, right? It seems like Israel probably killed Robert Maxwell.
Yeah, well, you don't blackmail
Most
a
likely.
blackmailer, man. You know,
Is that what
you
he
know,
tried
he
doing?
made a
He
lot of
tried getting some
money.
blackmail back on him.
Yeah, import export company. He actually helped spy on the Soviets and got tech for the UK from them. And he was swindling pension funds. That was not part of the plan. That's something he did on his own. So into the
Yes, I think he
drink, and
got
then
it.
his daughter, one of his daughters, Glenn Maxwell, creates an oceans charity where her father died in the ocean.
Wow. That's
Sickos.
what's crazy that they still work with Mossad despite them likely killing your dad. That Ghislaine's still like so loyal to them.
Well, military
Great.
intelligence. So that's another thing. Not everything is Mossad, just like not everything's CIA. Sometimes it's the State Department. Sometimes it's the FBI. Sometimes it's DHS. Sometimes it's the. Well, they have the equivalent alphabet over there. It's not just Mossad.
Yeah.
It's they have
Yeah, like
military
unit Amy.
intelligence. They have Shin Bet. They have all these great things, and he was with MI.
No, yeah, it gets very confusing because they have tons of different agencies. I got last super chat. Well, there's a few more, but I'll also ask one more if we want, just because this one's funny. It says, have you addressed Michael Tracy debunking your work? I don't
Yeah,
know,
he
like
didn't debunk my work.
that's why I'm laughing at it.
We
Like debunk your work,
I
huh?
was on a space with him, and briefly, but like, and I DM him and stuff. I'm all for it. I'm like, have at it, man. Give it like I want people to falsify things if they can. I'm trying to get at the truth. He
You're
can't, but
trying to get
like
better.
I'm
If you
trying to
make a
get at the
yeah.
truth,
If you make a
and
mistake,
I don't
you'll
like some
correct
of
it.
the like I don't get. I've seen both things from him where he'll criticize Israel for what they're doing and then make excuses for it, and I'm like, what
I
is
think
going
he's
on
Jewish
there?
too, right? So it's kind of
I don't know, but
I know some
I
Jews are
thought he was
fully
a good
against him, but
faith actor at first, but after seeing him like harass Daryl Cooper and stuff, I'm like, what are you? Daryl Cooper was at a funeral or something, and Tracy's like, how come he won't answer me and stuff like that. And he wrote on Twitter like Dawson hasn't answered this question yet. I'm like, do I need to do the Myron thing and like take your fucking private messages to me and put them in the public? Because it's like, except I wouldn't have to edit it. But
yeah, right.
he told me, hey, when did you or he asked me, when did you communicate with Virginia Giuffre or something? I'm like, I don't know. That was like 7 years ago. I was going to the U.S. And I was having problems because Air Canada went on strike and my flight canceled and I was stuck. And I was like, I'm like, I'm not at my computer. I don't have that stuff. You're going to have to wait. And I told him that. And so he knows I'm like on a plane going wherever. I ain't going to see it. And he starts talking shit. And I'm like, what are you doing? I
Such a
just told you
weaselly. I hate when
what
people do
was going
weaselly shit
on
like this.
and that you're going to have to wait till I get back. And I got all this 9/11 stuff to do. What is this for anyway? She's dead. Why do you need to
Mm.
know the exact date? I don't have that information in my head. I talked to like hundreds of girls. And what you got to understand is when I started talking to these people, Virginia Roberts was not some super famous name until like after 2019. It was just
Mm.
a girl. Like, and so I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know. I'd have to look. And I don't that was like 3 cell phones ago, so whatever.
Mm.
So I found him to be a bit disingenuous, and so
Yeah, I haven't
I
really
don't I
interacted
don't
with
like
him, but
that.
that he kind of seems that way. I don't like when people are disingenuous. Like sometimes I'm talking to someone, then you see they're like posting our private messages like publicly.
That's
It's like
so fucking womanly.
that
Like,
really bothers me. Yeah, it's like why do so many people do that? It's such like a bitch thing to do. It seems like it's normal though nowadays. Like how has that been normalized? Like post private
I don't
messages.
know.
I got a guy who to come on my podcast and he did that. I'm like, fuck you, I'll never have you on now. Now he like bitches and whines, oh, you're avoiding me. It's like, no, you're a fucking rat. I just don't want to give you any exposure when you did rat shit like that.
Yeah, it's
Not even
it's
gonna say the
lame,
rat's name.
but yeah, you don't have to. But this person, like, he did DM me, and I just gave him an honest answer. I'm like, I'm in the middle of a vacation that I do once a year. I'm going to
Yeah.
America, and I'm not at my computer. And what is there like a are you in a hurry for this? Does this need to you have a deadline for something? Like,
Yeah,
and why
right.
should I care? Like, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it is weird. All the
I
Daryl
do
Cooper
think you
gets taxed
need
so much
Michael
too.
Tracy type people, though. Let's assume he is good faith for a second.
Mm.
You do need people to go against the grain when everyone's like it gets a little cultish. And so you have to
Yeah,
have
fair.
someone who is willing to say the very unpopular thing, like, I don't think this person, go,
Yeah.
someone should do that. But that doesn't make them right. But you should be allowed without everybody jumping and be like, what are you pro pedophile? Blah, blah, blah. Are you getting paid by the Israel or something? Like, some people just hate women, man. And they're just like, I don't believe any victim ever. So I don't know. But you
we
should
shouldn't
always
alter the
allow
thing.
questioning of your work. Like, I don't care. I'm like, you can question it all because I got the
Well, if
receipts.
you do good work, you should be okay with people questioning it. You know, like in the
I
jiu-jitsu
think
world,
so.
I have no problem with my students training with their coaches when I was coaching because I have a lot of confidence in my jiu-jitsu skills. So it's like I'm not. It's the people with no confidence that are like, oh, don't go train there. If you know you're good doing good work, you don't mind people like going through it a little bit. So
Yeah, and just to
I think it's
defend
weird.
Daryl
Daryl Cooper is
Cooper,
attacked so much.
well, I went on his show and corrected him, and he thanked me for it. Like,
Yeah,
and
he's
it's not
always
just him.
he seems like he's always trying to learn. Exactly, he's trying to learn. Like
Yeah,
I'm
a
trying to
lot
learn.
of
I'm
people
aware that you
said
know way more than I do.
there's no shame in that. Like, a lot of people thought Donald Barr hired Epstein because Donald Barr did work at the Dalton School,
Mhm.
and then that's William Barr's dad, and it's just such a cool story if it was true.
Yeah.
But actually, Donald Barr and 6 teachers, so the headmaster and 6 teacher, all got fired in '73 because of the Yom Kippur War. A lot of the Jewish donors were donating directly to Israel and not to the school, so they had downsized, and he was one of the people who lost his position. Gardner P.
Interesting.
Dunning was the new headmaster, and that is who hired Epstein. But he did it at the behest of the Board of Trustees, which is just a bunch of, if you know what I mean. And that's who hired Epstein.
I think people won't figure that out. Yeah, because we don't want to get censored on YouTube. Interesting. I know. I just learned
My
this right now
dog
from you.
whistle.
Interesting. But again, but Derek.
Well, I named them
that's a
all
dog
in the
whistle, but
Daryl
no, Daryl
interview.
Cooper, I think he's a good.
Yeah, I named them all in that one.
Yeah, where can people listen to that, by the way? Because I know you're going to go really in depth on that. Where can people
Substack.
find
It's
it? On the
it's
Martyr
Daryl
Made
Coop,
podcast?
Martyr Made. Yeah, Substack's Martyr Made podcast, and it's the one I did. I only did one with them, so it's that one.
Yeah, no,
I
he does
don't know
great
if
work.
that.
He's
I
a
don't
good guy
think
to
that
support
one
too, I
ever
think.
made it to YouTube. Surprise.
It didn't. I went and looked on. It was a little while ago, but I went and looked on Spotify and didn't see it. Maybe I have to be part of the Substack.
Don't know. I
I'm
think
not
it was
sure.
free on
I'll
Substack
check again.
though. But I'll ask him if he's
Yeah, I'll
going to
check. I
put it
just
on
checked on
YouTube.
Spotify when I was driving because I usually listen when I'm driving. I didn't see it, but maybe I didn't look
Yeah.
right. Who knows? I'm a little retarded.
We did do a
So,
video.
all right, let's.
Like, we had the cameras on, so
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, she had video too. Okay, so no, I want to check that out because I know you guys both go super in depth. That was probably long.
Yeah, it was
How long
like
did you guys
3
go?
hours going through.
I'm surprised it wasn't like 6. I like would add 2 people.
Could have been.
People watching, if you're YouTube and Rumble, you can add super chats if you want, and we'll get to those at the end. I mean, I really appreciate anyone helping. You can throw questions in there if we have time. We'll answer those free. I'm not trying to be
Do it on
elitist, but
Rumble.
obviously, yeah, exactly. Either way is good as long as you're supporting the podcast. Or you can ask, if we have time, we'll answer questions too at the end. But let's get back into the.
We
Let's
gotta
go a
get
little
you on
while.
Entropy. Yeah, all
What
right.
is
Well,
that?
Entropy is like a place that they can super chat, but it's not going to go to YouTube and Rumble.
Oh, because
Unfortunately,
they take the money.
pays you through PayPal, which a lot of people are banned on.
That
So
sucks.
this independent company started in Canada. I think they had to move it to Thailand because Canada is Canada, and but it's called Entropy. That's the name of it, and they do direct bank payments, and people can watch
People
it
like
on
you
there.
can
And
get paid.
yeah, people like Black Sheep can get paid on Entropy because I can't use Streamlabs, I can't use Stream Elements, can't use none of that stuff.
You're
So-
still banned from all this stuff,
oh yeah,
even today.
yeah. I'm still
So once
banned
they
on
ban
Meta
you,
and all
then
that too. I
you're
have
still banned
Twitter
on
though.
YouTube too.
Got that back.
Do they
Yeah,
give
I'm banned on YouTube.
Do you have your YouTube back?
No, no.
Is there anything that people can do to help? Not really, huh? That just sucks.
Get Thomas Massey elected, and then maybe we can get a cyber bill of rights.
That is so needed.
It is.
You
It's
know.
like so much would be fixed if the right people were allowed to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone would know that Epstein list and all that years ago if I hadn't been banned.
Oh, exactly.
And some
So-
people did know it years ago, but it was like it just doesn't reach enough people when you're blanket banned.
No, it
You
should be
got to
right
have
up.
an on ramp. Yeah, you have to.
I had this
And like
argument
these
last
cases,
night with Harrison Smith. He was arguing it last night because Alex Jones. I don't think he's the best faith actor because he was like said it was okay for Elon Musk to strip my check mark away, and I was saying he's not a good faith actor. And they're like, well, it's a private company. I'm like, yeah, but we should have it should be like a utility. They need to change that. It shouldn't be. They shouldn't be able to just ban people and take away check marks and deboost you.
I agree. I'm totally against taking away check marks and deboosting and shadow banning and all that crap happens. I get deboosted and stuff too, but it is way better than being straight up banned. Like imagine if you just weren't allowed.
I 100% agree. So
Yeah,
I appreciate Elon didn't totally ban me.
Jack
but I still
Dorsey
think
was far worse than Elon Musk.
Yep. So I should no, I'll give Elon a little credit. I think it sucks that he did, they deboost and takes my thing away and doesn't I can't get monetized. I think that sucks, but I appreciate that I still have a platform there.
Yeah, so. And you're killing it over there. So it's.
Thank you.
I'm just so glad to be able to
get decent engagement
seen at all that I'm not going to complain. I'm like, hey, at least I can write and someone can read it. That's more than before.
Yeah, you were unpersoned for like 20 years.
Website, although Bluehost, I got they sabotaged my website too. Like even my host company was canceled me. And this is how it used to be. Like before there was, millions of people against Israel the way there are now. It was kind of, if you stuck your head up, you got hammered. And myself, like Jeremy McKenzie, like other people, they just ban you. He even was thrown in jail for a little while in Canada. You should have him on. I'll hook you up. So let's talk about pedophiles, man.
Yeah, let's get into let's get into the billionaire pedophile class.
I got banned on crypto exchanges. When other people were getting $250,000 sent to them from France, I'm like, that must be nice. You're allowed on crypto exchanges. I'm not.
Must be nice. Yeah,
it must be nice.
It's brutal the extent they would go to try to. And they're definitely going to try to silence us again. But I think hopefully it's gone too wide now where they can't.
I'm 100% going to get a lot of heat after this 9/11 film drops. I
can't wait. Yeah, exactly. You got to.
So another Les Wexner employee was when Wexner bought Abercrombie and Fitch in '88. I think he brought in Mike Jeffries in 1990, maybe late '89 or whatever. Mike Jeffries
ring the bell if he's
he was a homosexual pervert. Some would say that's redundant. Whatever. But he's a homosexual pervert. And he had a boyfriend named Matthew Smith, but he says Smith. And they had a kind of a weird, eerie pimp named James Jacobson. This guy had a missing nose, and he had a snakeskin patch where his nose ought to be. Isn't that creepy? Like he had like a rattlesnake patch.
Yeah, that guy is your pimp.
Yeah, and he's this sick and Jacobson.
That's what I was just wondering.
He was the Raymond Poulet. He was the recruiter. Kind of like Maxwell. She recruited a lot of people too. Or Jean-Luc Brunel is another recruiter. For both Matt Smith and Mike Jeffries. He's a bit younger. So like nowadays, well, Matt was 61, Jeffries was 80, and Jacobson was 71. So he's 10 years older than Matt. But there's a 19-year spread between Jeffrey and his boyfriend. But they're both into casting couch, like Harvey Weinstein style, like leverage rape, as well as the Brunel style of just drugging people against their will and then raping them when they're out of it.
And they were doing this to men.
Yeah, and boys and men. Very, very young men. Like
if I was drugged and
models.
raped and I woke up, these people would be in big trouble. It's like, I don't know how these people survive doing this shit.
Well, yeah, it's they're very powerful. They got a lot of they're billionaires you're talking about, and they would have these parties in the Hamptons, and for some of them it wouldn't be clear. There are drugs that erase your memory too. There's some I'm not gonna name them because I don't want to help. Yeah, but
a good point. About the name of the good point. I guess it's not a good idea to do that.
I'm not gonna name, but it's very prominent in South America, for example, where they can
buy them over the counter.
They'll hit tourists with it, take their wallet, take everything. They have it's kind of like you're acting, but you can't remember. You're zombified. It's worse than, I would argue, worse than being blacked out, because they can't get your bank account numbers and passwords and stuff if you're totally out.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were
These-
doing this, and they had some weird stuff. Liquid Viagra. I didn't even know that was a thing. I find these things out researching it. I'll say this. I want to say how this all came about. Like, why did they finally go after Mike Jeffries at all? Because a little late. You've been doing this since the fucking 90s, since 1990, so almost the 80s. And suddenly last year, there was a woman named Rihanna Croxford. I believe she worked for BBC, which is ironic because a bunch of BBC employees are also rapists, but
Jesus.
same with CNN. Like, this is the culture we live in.
Wow.
But
It's
Rihanna,
just like normal in these places, it seems.
it is, but this is the importance of not being banned on stuff too. This whole thing started because she saw a comment on Instagram by somebody named, I think his name was Barrett Paul, Pall though, not Paul, complaining about Abercrombie and abuse and stuff. So she got talking to this guy, which led to another guy, and she starts talking to all these former employees with these stories. And it's pretty hard to forget a guy with a missing nose and a snakeskin patch, right? So they all knew this Jacobson guy, and a lot of them would leave, but he would lure them in. And so let me tell you about some of the fetishes these freaks had. One, full body shave, leg hair, pubic hair, everything. Shave completely smooth. That's how they needed them. They put them in hot pants and flip flops with Abercrombie polo, like an Abercrombie greeter. Mike Jeffries' personal plane was all male stewardesses or stewards or whatever, excuse me, cabin attendants, and they had to dress a certain way. And he was a little OCD about, for some reason, they needed black gloves if they were touching silverware, white gloves, it was this. They needed different colored gloves depending on whether they're touching different things for him. And he yelling. But at the parties, what they did is they would bring in these young men, sometimes boys, 17, even 18, even whatever. That's fucking disgusting, even if it's legal. They'd pump them up full of drugs. They'd have other models. He had a fetish. He wanted to have somebody dressed like an Abercrombie and Fitch greeter, and he wanted him to tell him no the whole time while he put his dick in his mouth.
Jesus.
So he's not allowed to resist. He's
he
allowed to
wanted-
verbally resist, but he's not allowed to actually resist.
Yeah.
And then
So he wanted,
of course,
so like a rape thing, basically.
yeah, and he's gonna get a wreck because they pumped him with Viagra and Cialis and whatever. And they even had this liquid form they had made. Whatever they mixed it with, it was an injection, and it was called liquid Viagra. Who knows what it was, but they would put that in their junk, and so it would be, who knows what damage that did to their penis. But that's something he was doing. He was hired by Wexner, by the way, but he got
And again,
he
for
got
people
hit.
that don't remember, he's the guy that hired and directly worked with Epstein.
Yeah, and he's the one that hires Mike Jeffries, and they knew this was going on. He had 16 counts of sex trafficking and 15 counts of interstate prostitution. That's just one of the guys.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder how common this is when obviously a lot of these, I'm sure, are active, still going. So many connections, and like these are directly, I mean, this guy had direct connections to Epstein through Wexner.
His family paid a $10 million bail. $10 million for Jeffries. And $500,000 for Matt Smith, his little boyfriend that engaged in all the same things. They committed crimes in New York, France, England, Italy, St. Bart's, Spain. Like, this was a global endeavor where they would go and throw these parties and rape these men, shave them up, put them in hot pants and gloves, and inject them with weird boner drugs, and then also memory loss type of thing.
Damn.
And this is really sick. A lot of these men / boys had forced enemas, so they give them hot salt water if people don't know that, you know the joke from the Joker and Batman, this town needs an enema. It's where, yeah, they basically put a tube on your asshole and have like high water pressure going and clean it up. You know?
These are pretty sick, deranged people. Do you think there's any blackmail involved, or do you think they were just a sick fetish they were doing?
It was a sick fetish.
Hard to say.
There's now almost 100 men that were involved in this. None of them have said they were blackmailed. They were just raped. Because this is what these elitist pricks are into. And these guys had gone to authorities. It's very hard for them to do. To be like, I
was raped. I think I would. I
raped
think I would
by a
die
bunch
with
of
that
old
secret.
men. Yeah, a bunch of old men drugged me and gave me Viagra and had their way with me, and they shaved my body. Like, they're completely humiliated and destroyed. These people are mentally fucking destroyed. Some of the male models are also homosexual too, so it was that's. I'm not gonna say. I mean, nobody wants to be raped, but it's less bad than if you were straight and got raped by men.
Definitely less bad. It's still not acceptable. I would have to agree.
Yeah, absolutely, it's wrong, but that's.
It's like if I'd be raped by a girl versus a guy, raped by a girl is less bad.
It is.
Well, they do this to the Palestinians too. They rape the men too because they're just such disgusting.
Well, they rape them with like hot metal and stuff, and
you know,
they purposely cause anal
verifiable
fissures and polyps and.
No, they just do such disgusting evil that we can barely comprehend. And they get off.
There's another person besides Rihanna I would shout out is a former model. David Bradbury was his name, and he sued, and that took a lot of guts because suing a billionaire, your odds aren't good, but he did it, and that allows discovering other things. But Rihanna got a lot of legwork, and when the men had someone to talk to, that's what it snowballed, and the BBC picks it up, and then the police picked it up from there. They started an investigation like 2021. It's like, man, how long do you got to do this? But with a billionaire, you better cross every T and dot every I because you know, they got really high class lawyers, but they got them in the end. 16 counts, like I said,
in prison right now.
Sex trafficking. No, he weaseled his way out of prison by saying he's unfit for trial, like he's too old and mental. And Miller did the same thing. He's like, I got Parkinson's, and I got. But
he didn't even go to prison.
Well, he did a little bit, and they paid his bail, and then they're like, "You're gonna get sentenced, and you're going to jail forever because you're already 80 years old. You're there till you're dead." And he's like, "Oh, my health." So he's in like a hospital instead of a jail, but he doesn't have freedom.
Yeah.
And Abercrombie and Fitch was sold. It's no longer owned by Wexner. Like, at least the PR was so bad that it's like you need to completely sell this. And Jacobson and Smith, and it seems like there may be more, but this is all like happening last year, and even some of them this summer.
I somehow missed this. Kind of stories got buried.
It's a billionaire that raped people for decades and got away with it, and then finally gets popped. He's hired by Les Wexner, and there's a bunch of other Wexner connections. Like he had been caught way earlier than this, back in like 2003, and Wexner made it go away. So like it could have ended then. Yeah, it's
crazy how they're able to bury so many of these big things. You know, it seems like I don't know that much about the Diddy case, but it seems like that's been going on for tons of years too, of them like raping men, women, out of control. And I don't know, I don't know if he was involved or not, but he did have we hit the bell for his producer happened to be of the same people.
Clyde Davis.
So I can't say it. Yeah, Clyde Davis.
That's a whole other story, but I'll tell you this about Diddy, because the trial he just had is not the big thing. They already got paid out.
It was all left out.
He definitely is guilty of assault. It's on film, beating the shit out of his girlfriend and all that. But he already paid out like $20 million for that, $10 million for the hotel. These freak offs, sorry, but Cassie and them were into it. Like, they would write emails looking forward to the next one and stuff. Like, he paid for their lifestyle, and they were willing to exchange that.
If you keep coming back, it's hard. It's hard to call it rape if you keep coming back.
It's not rape. It is prostitution because you are hiring escorts. So that's illegal, but that's not what the trial was about. But I'll tell you where he's going to get fucked is Rodney Jones, because he's got receipts. I've seen them. That's where Diddy's going to, unless he pays them all off, he's going to get it bad there, because this is not your girlfriend fucking escorts while you watch. That's not illegal. That's just pervert. So what? Okay. This is
strange, but
getting people in the room within a room. Shook Knight called the little white room, where they're drugged out of their mind and taken advantage of, butt fucked, and the rest of it. So you get a little Tootsie Roll in the hole. And I've seen photographs. I remember telling someone we both know.
I'll pass on seeing these photos. By
Yeah,
the way.
I remember telling somebody before there was any arrest or any news. I was like, when he sued a liquor company, I like, oh, they're gonna fuck him up. You don't bite the hand that feeds. They did, but and it's Drake and other people, like all these people, or they used to call it the Gay Black Satan Club. My former co-host Pug was all into it. I got an earful about it all the time. I know people very close. I know people in that inner circle who would tell me those stories, and we were not surprised at all when all this stuff came out. The problem is now that so much has come out that now girls know what to copy and say to pretend like they were part of it when they weren't, and the whole thing got muddy. Yeah, I mean, anytime a celebrity gets accused of something, you're gonna have a whole bunch of false accusers.
That's
which
true.
Sucks.
There's something funny about all these rappers, all these gangster rappers acting all tough. They're all banging each other in the ass.
They're all gay.
The comedy of it is just like so disgusting yet funny. I think
Tupac swung both ways. It's like, hey,
there's an old clip with him when he's a teenager and talking. You look at him, you're like, that is a gay man, and he got caught up in that gang lifestyle. I mean, I don't even know his producer.
He definitely drank.
If I had to guess,
with both hands.
I'll bet he had a producer that was encouraging him to do that wasn't black.
Well, you are correct.
Who is the producer? Do you know?
Well, if you look into Interscope, well, there was 3 main people and they all did it. So, but not to get, well, we can talk about Diddy, but I was going to talk about Miller too, because it's more, Diddy's not related to Epstein, but the music industry has an equivalent casting couch system, and it's really the executives that you should target, not like Diddy was. He's got a lot of libido. He's got a lot of sex drive. He's freaky baby oil and whatever. But and you shouldn't beat people and all. But he's paid and he's in jail, and so whatever. But these other guys, clearly, like Robert Miller is a very interesting case. He started, I think, as early as 1982. He raped an 11-year-old girl. 1982. That was his first victim. 11. Wow. This is an adult billionaire for Future Electronics. It was his company. It just got sold to Taiwan, by the way. So now they have it. But and he did a thing very similar to Epstein, where we would have a girl recruit other girls and to get paid if you bring a friend. But he almost every time it had to be a threesome. So he would get a high school girl or younger. If he could, definitely he wanted younger, but it's hard to do.
Youngest he could get.
Middle school girls still have their parents involved in their life, so it's harder for them. Thank you. I wish they
should at least. Sometimes
do that
they
for
don't,
high school.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And he would at first he used this guy named Ramon Poulet. We just call him Raymond Poulet in English, I guess, as a pimp who would go and taxi the girls to him and stuff. And he kind of made a mistake because he kept using the same few hotels too many times in a row. And one of these hotels, it was in room 2025. I think it was the Intercontinental is what it was called. He created what's called the fuck tub. This guy rented a penthouse, like the top room, year round. So he got they just left him alone. Like, this guy wants to rent this all the time. He wouldn't spend the night. He would just come in the day for a while and leave. And it was weird because he could only live like 15 minutes away. So like, why do you need a hotel at all?
Yeah, you're obviously
He
doing
said
something
the
weird.
the tub. He's like, I want a custom tub. It's got to be this big and all. And they did. They built a tub for him. He said it's for his back or something. I need a tub. So okay. They built him a tub. But it was part of his. Let me explain this guy's fetish. So he didn't do the enemas in the bag or anything, but he would have two underage girls. And we're gonna say girls, not women. It was always underage.
Yeah. As young
For
as he
his
could get.
threesomes. He would bathe them. He'd have them bathe each other. He'd get on the bathtub with the three of them. So he had the big tub. He needed them very clean because he did not use contraception. I don't know if he pulled out or if they just got pregnant and he paid for an abortion or what, but he never used protection. But he needed them clean and he needed to see. So he was into the bathing and then they move in the bedroom and he'd have his threesome and he paid him. Paid a lot better than Epstein though. So instead of having like a jerk off massage session for $200, he would pay them between $1,500 to $4,000 depending on their performance. And this is where he really messes with their head. Like, the more you submit and comply, because you're doing it anyway, so you might as well do everything I want, and then you get the 4,000. Okay, these little color-coded envelopes, like purple, orange, and I think gold. It doesn't matter, but they are different colors that correlated to payments. And he's the most Canadian man in the world because when the hotels got wind of, kind of caught on to him, and there was a woman named Donna Dupre who was working with this former cop who became a private investigator named John Westlake, and they fucking knew what he was doing because all these girls would come to the hotel, go up to his room, be in there for a while and leave. But they needed a girl to complain or say something. And so they try and talk to him, like, hey, what are you doing here? Yeah. But they wouldn't do it because they're getting paid a lot and they're scared and whatever. So, but they followed
Paid
him.
well for a Jew.
Well, I don't think he was Jewish, but he was. He paid well.
This is the one that's not.
For a rapist, like $4,000.
He didn't ring the
in
bell.
the 90s.
That's why he's paying. That's why he's paying more than Epstein. That makes sense.
Oh, damn, that's dark.
I was thinking, this guy pays a lot better. Epstein, like $200, paying like 20 times more.
Well, imagine he's got them competing with
I
each
should've
other
known.
because he's having a threesome, and like one of them's going to get the 4K, one of them's going to get the 1,500. It's sick, man.
Wow,
So
it's a competition. That's just
that
so
was not
weird,
the only way he
deranged.
paid them, though. Another thing he did, and this is why I call him the most Canadian man in the world, is he would give them a hockey bag because what he ends up doing is he ends up moving. He bought two houses, one right across the street from the other. He would go and park his car in the parking garage of one house, and then he would go to the other house. And in the basement of the other house, it was just filled with stuff from Victoria's Secret, from Wexner, all these Wexner
Just tie it in
brand
again.
products, and CDs and things like this. And he would tell the girl, you get one hockey bag, you can go down there and fill it up with as much stuff as you want and bring it home. Like, it's all yours, as much as you can fit and carry in a bag. And then you're going to come upstairs, you're going to bathe, and then you're going to get paid cash. So they got a whole hockey bag full of goodies plus cash money to have a threesome with him and a girl, which made it harder because a lot of these girls, they're not lesbians. They don't want to be with another high school girl. They don't want to be with an old man well, he wasn't that old yet, but super white teeth, way older than them. So he upped his payments, which does not make it okay at all, but it's part of the grooming process because they're like, well, at least I got this and I got cash and it wasn't so bad. They don't understand how bad it is later with the mental
The
what
trauma
they're
that
doing.
does to him long term. Exactly.
They're just like,
they can
well, yeah,
rationalize
okay, I
short-term.
got
They
some
probably
guy
target
off.
poor
and,
girls.
Yeah, they're like, I got a bag full of goodies and a lot of money.
But long term is doing lots of damage to him.
Oh, and they might have got pregnant because he never used protection. And as far as we know, there was no HIV or anything like that. Now with Mike Jeffries, there was. I forgot to say that a bunch of the men that they ganged up on ended up with HIV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what
He would
sucks
have
for the
like
straight
a
men, but it
silver
seems
plate
pretty
with
common for
alcohol,
gay men.
poppers. Like, you know what poppers are? is you
I know
shouldn't.
the gay men use them to
Right.
As
Like
San
a
Francisco,
muscle
I hear that shit,
relaxant.
it's I don't want to know. There's things you hear and see
Poppers are
yeah,
muscle relaxants mainly for anal play, but one of the side effects of these drugs is it completely destroys your T cells. So there's an argument whether it's HIV or or recreational drugs that were destroying your T cells, and then AIDS,
straight
like
men don't get AIDS. I've been saying
very
this for a while.
rarely, yeah.
Straight white men at least. Straight white men at least. The people name a few black men. I think they might be closet homosexuals, but Asian men either. You're a
Well, the
single straight
stats on
Asian
AIDS
white
are
man.
off too because the different countries have different criteria for what counted as HIV or AIDS, and that's a lot of that's because of Bill Gates. I'll tell the story real fast. So, in like the armpit of Africa or Ghana and Ivory Coast, that area, Bill Gates had this program that would go down there, and this goes back to Matilda Krim, and Fauci actually.
Who's that?
Matilda Krim is the Irgun terrorist that was sleeping with Lyndon Johnson.
Ah.
But anyway,
Oh wow.
they're making money off this AZT shit and this AIDS medication, but so you need more people to have AIDS so you can medicate more people with the AIDS drug. So what they did, instead of having an antibody test or blood test or something more concrete, they just based it on symptoms. And so, like, if you have these three symptoms, you have fever, diarrhea, and something, which
You
could
have
be
AIDS.
malaria, which could be you malnourished, it could be anything. You got AIDS, and so there was like, oh my God, there's just millions of Africans have AIDS, and like they did not have millions of people with AIDS. You
No,
just
I
categorized
100%
them as
agree.
having AIDS on a really loose categorization that could be a multitude of other things, so you could justify forced vaccinations and drugs where they weren't necessary, so your big pharma could profit. So they're like, way more black people have AIDS than whites. I'm like, well, that might be true, but that might not be. Not if you're basing it on those studies with all those black Africans.
No, I don't think it's the same disease. I agree. People think I'm crazy when I say that, but it's just not the same thing. It's very clearly I don't have a strong theory, but I know the official theory is absolute bullshit on AIDS.
I tell you, when Magic
It's like
Johnson got AIDS, the next day, and this is prior to the internet, people were already had the jokes. They're like, "What's Magic stand for?" My ass got infected, coach. And like, "Do you know David Copperfield got AIDS?" I'm like, "David Copperfield got AIDS?" Like, "Yeah, I've been doing magic for years." And like, it was like, I'm like, "What did you guys just sit on the phone making this up and
I
call
think
around?"
they were just
Like,
ready for these or what?
yeah, that's my island, man. They got nothing else to do. Like, but Magic Johnson's doing well. I mean, he has
No,
HIV,
yeah, exactly. There's
but
but he seems to have not transferred into AIDS.
a lot of these
Well, people aren't really
communities, they
dying from
all
AIDS
share
anymore.
microbes. Go ahead.
Well, I think
Yeah,
people
you
aren't
don't
really dying from
really.
AIDS that much anymore. Part of it might have been the AZT cocktail might have been killing him that he was
Well,
giving.
that's
Fauci was
what
pushing
I
that
think.
cocktail on him, which I had a cousin who died. He was fine. He got on the cocktail, then he got really sick and died.
Yeah, the
So I've seen it. And
cocktail
it's like
is what's
I
really
think the
destroying you.
AZT killed him. I don't think the AIDS killed him.
AZT will kill you in combination with, especially if they're doing recreational drugs like poppers, that will wipe out your T cells. That does
Yeah,
happen.
and most of this community is doing lots of drugs. That's the truth of the matter. People
And
don't
that's
want to
the
admit
thing.
it,
Like
but
the gays
that's
in San Francisco that had widespread drug use were dying. They were dying of a particular type of like stomach cancer and something else because, but the ones communities that weren't into the drug scene didn't have that. I'm like, well, they all have AIDS though, right? So why is this one so much worse than the other? And it was like, it's
exactly.
not
There's a
HIV that's
clear
destroying your
disconnect.
T cells, it's the recreational drugs. And then you get the AIDS medication, and then that's what actually messing you up. Now there's
No,
arguments about
I
that, but I'm
agree.
just putting that out there. Like
Yeah, and
a
I don't
hundred
have an
percent.
exact figured out theory, but I think the official theory is definitely off. Oh shit, hold on.
Well, they definitely provable had different criteria for what counted as AIDS in America, Canada, Africa, and like and that's true. And so you're like, how
Yeah,
come you
there's
need
been
this
major doctors that have
this line at this country and this much lower threshold somewhere else? And it's to push the
I wish I
drugs.
remember the doc. I wish I remember the doctor's name, but there was a big guy that was pushing that this is all wrong, this is all wrong, and Fauci was the one pushing the official AIDS story and the AZT and all this. If you actually look, There's so much bullshit. People
Well,
think
it's
you're
in
totally crazy when you say
RFK
it,
Jr.'s book actually, with all about that with Fauci. And there's
but yeah, he writes about that a little bit.
it's one of these things like it's for a long time it was just so politically incorrect to say that gay community's own behavior with drugs was bringing it on themselves. But if that's true, then that's true. You just have to say, hey,
Yeah.
the drug use, y'all need to stop taking poppers,
Yeah, start doing
But-
poppers and meth.
Yeah, that's yeah, don't do meth. That's probably good advice.
Any drug that might turn you gay, you might should stay away from. You see, like in San Francisco, there's like tranny hookers waiting outside the streets, and like meth heads driving, picking them up. It's like,
I think
I'm gonna avoid that
Netanyahu's
drug.
wife would make people gay. Or
Yeah, that
celibate.
would be a better alternative. Yeah,
She looks like a pig,
I would
man.
become celibate. Yeah, I haven't seen her, but I could just imagine.
She looks like Ganon
But that-
from Zelda. Like this,
Imagine a disgusting person too.
just this like pig human thing. I don't know. Like video
Pig
game
human
people know
hybrid.
what that is.
I don't know who it is, but I could imagine just a disgusting goblet.
It's like a warthog head on a fat, like gross body. Yeah.
I'm gonna look her
Like
up
if you
after
pull
this.
up Miss Piggy the Muppet, Miss Piggy looks
That
better.
would be her.
No, Miss Piggy looks better than Netanyahu's
After
wife.
looking at him, you're like, all right, Miss Piggy's not bad. At least she
Yeah,
has a
you look
decent
at
personality.
Put it side by side, and I'm not exaggerating. Like Miss Piggy's a fucking Muppet of a pig. It's pretty gross. You're like,
I'm gonna
"Eh,
look.
it's got
I'm gonna look
hair."
together and
Yeah.
figure out who's hotter. Maybe I'll do a Twitter. I'll do a Twitter poll. Maybe. Which would you rather do?
There's probably some Muppet fetish, because there's furries, right? I heard a funny
That is such a
furry
strange
story.
one.
Not just that they're shooting each other, but with this is to me, I get dark humor.
They're shooting each other. I didn't know that.
Did you not hear about the shootout in Portland between the furries? They're like
Was
shooting
that
from one
recently or a
apartment to
while
another.
ago?
It was. It doesn't,
Oh, that's
it was,
awesome. I missed that. I believe
It's
it
not
though.
that
Portland
recent. It
is
was like
so.
4 or 5 years ago, but they
Oh,
had
yeah.
this long like battle, like furries shooting at each whatever. Within the furry cult, no one likes the birds. So apparently,
Really?
within the furry, like I don't know what the cool thing is, like the fox or
I didn't know
the
there was a
dog
pecking
or-
order amongst
yeah,
the
there's
furries.
there's a total pecking order between like I think like wolves and foxes and stuff are the like the cool ones,
Are the
and
hot
nobody
ones.
likes the birdies, the bird people, and
Mm.
what makes the birds lower than the other furries is the people who identify as birds, which really means drones because birds aren't real, right? No, they apparently simulate laying eggs. So you know how nasty. Yeah, they like shove an egg up the butt, not like a not an actual egg that would break, but like a prosthetic, like
This
egg-shaped
is a
dildo or whatever.
strange fucking fetish.
And then later they'd shit it out and be like, "Meow, I'm having an egg," you know.
I don't like these bird people either now.
Yeah,
Fuck these birds,
they're mentally ill. That's what all of them are. They're like,
dude. When Nate Diaz
Shit
fought, who
eggs.
was it? Jake Paul at a hotel.
This is why Trump was
full of
better than
furries.
Biden. Like,
Okay,
those
no, fair.
furry
That's a
people.
fair assessment. I stayed at a hotel with 1,000 furries one time. I'm like, what the fuck? This is like a conference. It was like all dudes, so they must be gay because there wasn't like very many furry women. Like this is
It's a
or it's like a
did
gangbang.
they-
The few
what
women's like
happened?
20
They,
and
like,
one.
get raped by a Disney character at the park or something. Like, how does one? Whatever.
Become a furry. Yeah, it's just like
Still better than a pedophile.
I had someone. Furry is better than pedophile. I will
better than
agree.
these other people we're talking about, but
I wonder what
back
percentage
back to
of
Miller
them might be
anyway.
these people. Yeah.
Like, it got derailed.
Yeah,
there,
these
but
furry, the
it's
furry
entertaining.
distraction.
John Westlake, the PI I was talking about, that was like they kind of did a stakeout and they would see these girls coming in and out with hockey bags. This is how they figured that part out. Why? I think that's funny. I don't know, but like it's just
That is
sad.
pretty
You know,
funny.
it's just like how shameful.
And that's
you know,
full
like,
of
you're
like
showing your hockey
lingerie,
bag in your
right?
car.
It was
and then when-
lingerie he was giving
yeah,
them.
full of oh gosh, yeah, like bring
Or
that
just women's
next time,
clothing,
Hunter.
or-
He would get sick of them quick and rotate them in and out. Like, I can't imagine it. And he did this to hundreds of girls, man. He wrecked the lives of hundreds of little girls. just destroy them. But he's a billionaire. They didn't even know his name because he lied. He said he was American named Bob, and they didn't even know last name. His name was Bob Adams, was his like
Bob.
alias. Real name's Robert Miller or Rubert or whatever, but I'm just going to say Robert Miller. And Bob Adams is just a fictional character, but they would say, Bob, I'm going to see Bob. They didn't know who he was. There's almost no pictures of this guy. I found like 3 pictures of him ever. He has no public pictures. He has super white teeth, like the vinyl all the way across. But they tried to bribe the PA. Now, this is the PI. Here's the really disturbing thing. Well, all of this shit's disturbing, but here's some more disturbing stuff. At Future Electronics, he created some like dummy vice president of this and that, but they were just his personal like recreational cohorts. Recreation meaning raping girls.
Women
he gets rid of Raymond Poulet because he's upgraded. He's got a system now where basically the girls recruiting other girls is working for him. He's got his own house to do it in, so he doesn't have to worry about the hotels anymore. And it's good that they ran him out of that. Elizabethan Hotel's another one he went to. But so at Future Electronics, he had this sort of like office within an office, OSP style. And these guys, one of them was a former cop. And he had this former cop and his partner go and harass Westlake. Basically pulled him aside, like took him to lunch. Real mafia said, let's get some of this. And told him, you know, why don't you just give us everything you have and back off this case? Like, we got it. This is internal. Da, da, da. And they're like, no. And then they offered him $300,000. So a $300,000 bribe to just tell us what you know and walk away. And so instead,
they still be like, we'll handle it still.
Well, he went straight to the police with it, but the police, like, they acted, but extremely slowly. So what are you doing? Making a case. Like, we did a stakeout. We were seeing girls go in and out. We have this hotel manager. We have his ex-wife. Oh yeah, I forgot the big part of the story. His ex-wife is the one that first hired the PI. And then later he hooks up with Donna Dupre, who was she ran the night security at the hotel and was aware of the fuck tub, knew that he had that custom built, all that stuff. So, but his ex-wife got mad and was like, just like, why do you divorce a billionaire? And she didn't get half his money. Like, she just left him because he's a sick freak pervert. Yeah.
He's such a sick fuck, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he raped an 11-year-old, man. That's where it started. And that's, I mean, maybe I didn't even.
There might be younger
all.
that we don't know about, even. You know, who knows?
Exactly.
I'm sure ones we don't know about.
That's one of the things he did is rape an 11-year-old girl. So he had this guy named Sam Adams, who is an executive vice president of Future Electronics, probably some made-up title. He's just on the payroll for his real job, which was assisting him on scaring some of his victims, recruiting victims, scheduling, you know, when the girls would be there and all. They had they bring him in from taxi. Sometimes they drive him in. Those 2 houses, by the way, were seized in 2024 by a judge. So he did lose his property already. At least
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's some kind of punishment, you know. This other guy named Sergei Belikov, was an Epstein guy, was involved in this a little bit, but it should be disturbing that like a former police officer is harassing another former police officer that turned PI, and that he's been hired along with these other guys like Sam Adams. And the guy's name was Terry Corcoran, some weird French name, and another dude named Stephen Roberts. And these were his like special security that he would send out, not only to harass girls and stuff, but anybody that's on their trial, on their trail. And they threatened a private investigator. And instead of cleaning up, and then another thing, he has like no bank accounts in his name. He always had intermediaries. I don't know if that's to avoid income taxes or what kind of thing he was doing, but he's like, no. cash payments. There had to be a lot of ATM withdrawals to stuff these envelopes with cash.
Hold on quick. Oh, sorry. Your turn real quick. So go on.
And as he's doing all this crap around Montreal, Peter Nygard is in Winnipeg doing this very similar thing, recruiting girls. He would end up creating his little headquarters in the Bahamas, where he would have this. Peter Nygard owned a women's clothing line. Nygard.
Interesting.
Apparel.
It's interesting. All these like connections between clothing lines and I don't want to make it up. I just know all these connections. Model agencies.
It's almost
seems
as
like the norm.
if you are around young people enough, they'll do it. Because I always wonder, like, why is it always a priest or a teacher or why these occupations? And the answer was simple: because they're around kids all the time. Which makes me wonder, like, how many adults would do it but don't have the opportunity because they're never around children. The ones that are, or is it because if you're a pedophile, you choose a profession where you can be around children? Because there's many teachers that never ever act like this, of course.
Yeah.
But it's about access, and so Nygard, he had, I think he was the sickest of the three.
Oh,
he had diaper parties.
What is wrong with some people?
You could try to imagine what that entailed.
Yeah, like just the sickness of these people doesn't even make sense.
Well, he had a scat
diaper
fetish.
Parties.
He was down with the brown, and I don't just mean Jungle Fever, although he had that too. He was down with the other brown.
That's just the most disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck can that turn someone on?
He wanted black girls
better
to
than
shit on his face.
Raping kids, I guess, but oh.
Well, he had sex with them too, but like he's into the poo, man, and he wasn't even from India.
Then you could rationalize it at least, like, it's the norm.
Like, it was a sexual thing for him. He wanted people to shit on him, and he also drugged people. So it wasn't just coercion with money. He just drugged them and raped them. He should have been caught a long time ago too, and he would just not go to court. They subpoenaed him, and he just nope. He finally raped a couple of American girls. We'd be arrested. I mean, yeah, if you even don't pay your taxes like Wesley Snipes, you go to prison. But this guy, they knew what he was doing. There's a funny incident though where, first of all, he got into this like billionaire versus billionaire property dispute with this guy named Bacon from North Carolina, but he had property in the Bahamas. And you ever seen Spy versus Spy, like the old Mad magazine comic, whatever? It was that level of fucking childish.
I read it, but I've like seen the.
Yeah, it's this fun little cartoon they would do back and forth. They kept building like the fence, like, oh, you do this, well, I'll do this. Oh yeah, well, and he was mad because Nygard would like have these huge parties and stuff, and so he took like giant speakers and pointed them, right at the edge of his yard, and it would just blare music into his yard, and just petty, stupid stuff. It's Joel Greenberg level dumb. Joel Greenberg is disgusting. Guy got 33 felonies. He was a tax collector in Florida. Total piece of shit. A lot of the stuff Matt Gaetz got blamed for, Greenberg, God damn it, actually did. Yeah, but one of the things he did that's kind of funny, like a little bit funny, is he had these sprinklers put outside his office with a hidden camera that he could aim at people and spray them, and when they walk by.
Wow, okay, that's pretty funny.
You mentioned it's like, Gaetz. How petty is that? You just want to spray strangers with water and act like, oh, they just came on like that. Like, who even thinks of that? Like, I'm gonna pay to have
the
remote control sprinklers so I can aim them at people, and I got a little camera set up just to fuck with people who are outside. Yeah. That's one of the things he did.
Wasn't Matt Gaetz set up by some Israelis?
Yeah, that's an interesting story. I actually covered that with Andrew Tate one time. I don't know how in depth I did on that. I did my own it's called The Truth About Matt Gaetz. If you watch the video, it's on Twitter. That gets all into that. And yeah, there was them again, da da da, them again.
He's speaking
They
like APAC now, yeah. And then
they were like,
he was
oh, we're gonna
blackmailed
get
by
this
them.
this hostage out of Iran, and all. It was all no, that's not what was going on. And the the worst thing they did to Gates, where they really screwed him over, is he leaves Congress to get Pam Bondi's position, which he doesn't end up getting because they waited till he was out of Congress but not in the cabinet, and suddenly the ethics committee leaked the accusations about Matt Gaetz, which prevented him from getting the cabinet position. And I'm gonna say, well, that's interesting. The ethics committee leaked the accusations but not the conclusion, because the conclusion
Yeah,
was he
'cause-
was innocent of the accusations. But it didn't
Wow.
matter. They're like,
Did he-
we're just going to say this and create a big media storm long enough to prevent him from getting the position. Now he's out of Congress and he's not in the cabinet. We just got him out of government.
And,
And
he's the
then
only
I
guy that
said,
didn't get
if
approved from
someone
Trump, right?
leaked, if someone's leaking from the ethics committee, that's a big deal. You're releasing testimony out of fucking Congress. Who did it? They have zero interest in figuring out who leaked this information, internal information, because the whole thing was to smear Matt Gaetz. And
So, it was a huge
they're acting
smear.
like he slept with some
He-
17-year-old. That's not what happened. Joel Greenberg did. There was a party at someone else's house where they brought this girl. Matt Gaetz was not even there. It's a whole ordeal. But like, see, this is the thing we got to be careful. So, like, Matt Gaetz didn't do these things.
Exactly.
As far as we know, like the Tates did not do these things. Brett Kavanaugh did not do these things. And they went all the way back to his like high school years accusing him of crap. Like, oh, this and
yeah,
then
so you can't.
it's
no,
like retraction.
It is
yeah.
tricky because you can't just take the word of it. But there's certain
Mm-hmm.
cases like Epstein. Okay, there's enough evidence where it's clear. But
I
exactly,
think
'cause
Michael
women do
Jackson
lie
was
too.
innocent. I think Bill Cosby
That's a
was
wild
innocent.
one, man. Because
Well, Michael Jackson is
I didn't watch
definitely
Cosby,
weird.
but I fully thought he was guilty, and then looking back, being like, "Wow, they just completely destroyed this man, accusing him of the most disgusting things, and he probably didn't do it. He was weird, exactly like you said, but he had a big battle with
his father had put him on hormone blockers to preserve his voice, and so he didn't develop fully, and he had a weird life. I'm not going to go over Jackson right now, but a guy that did two great videos, one on Cosby, one on Michael Jackson, actually, his name's Razor Fist on YouTube. You guys should check that out. Razor, with a
the
zero.
Jackson thing is very interesting. I'll look that out. And yeah, every single person involved was suing him, the attorneys, you're gonna have to hit the bell about 10 times. You realize, oh, every single person involved.
He wrote a
was all
song
them.
about Palestine.
Yeah, never
Wrote a
released,
song
right?
about
Did they
Palestine.
hold it?
It's in a notebook. Like he had the lyrics about Palestine, and it didn't come out. But
I don't
with
think they'll
Sony
ever
and all, he
release
was
it,
breaking
yeah.
a monopoly of a certain clique, and he pissed off a lot of people. Some of these kids were coached, and I'll tell you, I'll stick up for this person too. Corey Feldman was telling the truth the whole time. The kid from the Goonies and Lost Boys and stuff. Well, he's older than me. He's not a kid, but like he's older than you too. Corey Feldman.
I remember him as a kid still, though. I'll remember.
Yeah,
all I
yeah.
remember
Like
as
in
a
my
kid.
head, same. It's like
He's a
well,
kid. Yeah, he's still a little kid.
He looks
in
very
Goonies.
young. I mean, I guess I do too. But like, he doesn't look his age. But he was molested by that whole soda pop club and those guys. So was Corey Haim. All they had the same rapists, and he named them, and it just didn't matter. But he was friends with Michael Jackson and stuff, and so is Macaulay Culkin and other. They're like, no, Jackson never. Like that's absolutely false. Like all the other kids who had been molested in Hollywood, but not by Michael Jackson. So if people shit on Corey. You're like, dude, he was abused. Like, cut him some slack.
Mm-hmm.
This guy had a band, I think, Corey and the Angels or something. Whatever. Like, this is someone who's been abused and is trying to tell you what happened to him, and they're all just making fun of him about whatever else. Like, I just don't understand people. Like, he was telling the truth the whole time.
Like Hollywood's, it's such a disgusting place. You find out, and then there's the idea that Jackson would be framed seems so foreign and outlandish to me until you actually look at the evidence, and then you're like, wow. Like even his own sister had a husband, like she said, beat her and made him say that he did it, and like Just every aspect of it points to the same people. It was a big blackmail, bribery. They wanted to ruin his career because he was, writing songs about Palestine, and
Yeah,
they don't care
Latoya
about
has the
us. They wanted
same
to
skin disease, and they're all like, "Nah, he doesn't have a disease. He bleached it." You can't do that.
He's our white brother. We can take him.
His sister Latoya has the same thing. She posed for Playboy, and so all her skin is it's pale. Like that happens to people sometimes. Like, I think D'Lo Brown got that, the wrestler. If you look at, he's retired. He's a CPA now. I believe he's a certified public accountant. But D'Lo Brown was brown. Now he isn't. Same, and he did not bleach himself or anything.
There's a baseball
It's rare,
player,
but it happens.
not Barry Bonds, but there's another big baseball player that turned white. I don't know who was it. It's I think he's from Chicago. It's not Barry Bonds, but it's one of those really famous baseball players. I don't follow baseball, but I saw a picture of him recently. He turned white and he was black. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know how it happened, but maybe it was what's his
Learn to
guy's
swim.
name? I think he was battling with Barry Bonds during some like home
Somebody
run
in
thing.
the
I didn't
chat
follow
will look
baseball.
it up.
Sammy Sosa.
Oh yeah, very
Yeah,
famous.
I think it's
player.
Sammy Sosa. Yeah, I think he turned white. Unless I'm confusing with someone else, but someone showed me and like that's interesting. He became white, but okay.
I remember when Andre Dawson was famous, that was like what I'd be associated with my last name, and it all got superseded by Dawson's Creek TV show, which I never saw. We were like Dawson's
Yeah, I haven't
Creek, and
watched
we're
that
like,
either.
yeah, I like Dawson's Creek. Like,
That
became
sucks.
the
Yeah, I
new-
never watched it, but it just
Yeah,
sounds
I was
kind
like,
of sounds kind
Andre
of gay.
Dawson, the baseball player, was way cooler than than that.
In Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. I actually
Right.
sat on a plane with one of the actresses for that show. And because what I was supposed to be on, I took that deal like where they had too many and then like where you get to fly first class. Da, da, da. I was like, yeah, I'll go on the next one, whatever. And I got to sit next to what was her fucking name? Katie something, whatever. But I just remember because she was in a show that had my name in it. I'm like, oh, you're one of them. I've never seen the show. It was filmed in North Carolina, apparently. So whatever. The actual
imagine
Dawson's
you're
Creek
sick
is
of
in
hearing it.
like near Vancouver.
Oh,
Like,
really?
It's actually a place called Dawson Creek. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never watched any of the show. It just sounds terrible.
Me either.
though.
I don't even think we had that channel. Like,
Yeah, no, I
it
wasn't
was
allowed
on-
to
it was
watch
on
much
one of those
TV, which
weird-
is probably a good thing. My parents are mean and didn't let me watch TV. Didn't have to grow up with all that bullshit.
yeah, I'm not sure if it was a creek or there's a character named Dawson or something. I'm like, I don't even want to know. Don't even tell me if you chat. Just leave it alone.
Yeah,
That
right.
was like, yeah, by the time I was like just about to go to college, that was the new, and it was popular. It was a really popular show. It's like, okay, yeah, that's my name.
Okay,
had
yeah,
it
I guess
first,
yeah, like
whatever.
Dawson, like
Yeah,
Dawson's
it's like-
Creek.
It's like,
No.
yeah, but Andre, he was a black baseball player. That's how that related. Whatever.
Yeah, right. We get off. Any of these other billionaires we should hit before hitting super chats? and
Another,
wrapping
a
up?
fun one is Robert Kraft, who owns a football
Oh
team.
yeah.
And not a pedophile, but definitely into sex workers. And I wrote up a bit on him on Substack because his case was interesting. And the author escapes me. It was an Asian woman, based on the name, that worked for Vanity Fair, but I can't recall who it was right now. But she did some good work on this too. So Robert Kraft, who worked with Leon Black. Leon Black is like the number 3 guy to finance Epstein, maybe number 2. I mean, gave him over $175 million.
Wow. Just gave him the money.
Well, he got favors. So he was doing the same thing as Wexner. He was watching.
That's crazy.
his
How
money
these
and
guys
getting
just
taxed.
hand him insane amounts of money. It's so
Well,
strange.
they have to as part of the syndicate. So because Leon Black, for those who don't know, he runs Global Apollo, huge hedge fund, and on the board of directors is Robert Kraft, who doesn't need that position. He's already a billionaire too, but he sticks in there. So it's weird that they're friends and they work for Global Apollo together at the highest level, and then this guy gets popped getting happy ending massages. So another multi-millionaire, like 100-millionaire, asked Kraft, like the masseuse place they usually went to was closed for some reason. So he took this like 20-minute drive into Jupiter, Florida. It's like northwest of Palm Beach a little bit. and to some like Chinese massage place in a mall. Like, what do you? Yeah, you got all this money, and that's whatever.
And that's where you're going. The
Yeah,
the $30
yeah, it's a
hand job
little,
place.
yeah. And the cops had been busting these masseuse parlors. There was a female cop that noticed a bunch of like tissue paper in the trash can. It has semen on it, and like how that get there. These women weren't very good at cleaning up, and there was too much food in the refrigerator enough because they were living there. Some of them. The madame, she had a really nice house. Her name was Mingling. Yeah,
Yeah.
she had a really nice place. Said that like Trump for some reason. Mingling.
Ming ming.
I don't know why.
And the girls were having to live at the massage place, and she had a mansion probably.
Because what makes this, I really don't care if someone wants to jerk someone off at a massage parlor. They're both adults. Like, you need, it's it's pretty low on my list. Let's say like it's wrong,
But if they're being forced to do it, that's where the
But
problem comes.
that's where it's fucked up. It's like these people get lured in with the promise of job A, then they end up at job B, and they got to jerk off a bunch of weirdos for whatever, 20, $30 a person. And there's like hundreds of guys that funnel through these things, and they're stuck living there in a shitty life, just jerking and blowing people until they can pay off their debts and stuff. So that is sex trafficking. That is forced prostitution. That's not prostitution. That's forced. And the owners are making bank. And these are people who are a little bit older, can't really sling in a brothel. They're not a high level escort. These are the ones that that get lured into this shit. So
No, it's
Kraft
probably a lot
goes
of
to
them are
this
forced
place. He gets two girls to assist him at the end. First time he got his a little nut sack rub and a hand job, and into a white towel. They filmed it. It's disgusting. This is like leftover Patriot Act stuff that should not be legal.
Yeah, the police filmed it.
Yeah. So, but he ends up getting away with it. Let me
seems
tell.
a little bit ridiculous.
Well, this is the reason he got away with it is because you're not supposed to be allowed to do that. But it was kind of a hangover from the Patriot Act. What they did is they knew goddamn well that people were getting hand jobs in this place.
Yeah.
Like they'd seen semen in the trash can. They'd seen all these other clues, and it's all guys clientele, like no girls getting massages, whatever. And so they said there was a bomb scare, and these girls believed them. So they all waited outside. And while they're outside, they put cameras in the ceiling.
Oh wow.
This is a fucked up part about this police department, because they waited for many, many months. So watching people have sex and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you see that once, you can bust them. But
Yeah.
for some reason, they decided they needed thousands of hours of this shit. They do
Probably
finally
jerking off
do
to
a
it.
sting. Yeah, they're just as sick probably. So they got their own little voyeurism thing. Like we get to watch these Chinese girls doing their thing to these random dudes. But well, the female cop that initiated it was like, "Hey, are we moving forward on this or not?" And so they do. And what they did to catch the Johns is so they set up the cameras, and then they would have a roadblock where you had to show your license and stuff, and then so you get your name, get your face, and they let you move along. And all they're really doing at the road stop, they're not looking for a particular person. They're not looking for a violent crime. They're looking to stop every car because they already know your license. They got a stakeout. So when you get in and you drive out, they were getting your ID. Now they could run that through the DMV anyway and figure it out the long way, but they're going to talk to you. Oh, what were you doing? Oh, hey. And they find Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft actually like, oh, you're I don't know what football team. I think you're in the Patriots, but they were talking about the Dolphins or whatever. One of the Florida football teams. It could have been, I think it was the Dolphins, but whatever.
Yeah.
Are you this? Oh, no, I'm actually a Patriot fan. They saw his ring, and they knew who the fuck he was, But Robert Kraft is leaving this place. So that's how he was one of the Johns that got popped. And what's sick is he will not get in trouble, but the girls do. So how can you not be in trouble for prostitution, but they're in trouble for prostitution? Like
Yeah,
it's
no,
got to
that's
be
weird.
neither or both, right?
No, I would agree
But
on
when you have
that.
a
I
lot of
think,
money,
especially these girls are
yeah,
probably being forced into it. The whole thing seems a little
yeah,
weird to have waited that
it's like
long. They should have just broke it up right away, left the girls free, and
should
to
have
sit there and do a
liberated
huge,
them,
they
should have
put
interviewed
cameras in
them.
there.
Are you
Yeah,
forced to do this? Where do you live? Why do you live here? When did you come from China? Like all that should have happened and didn't. Well, the madame got popped, and so the two was two women that were kind of leading the thing, and they did get in some trouble, but all of
yeah.
them did. And I'm like, now you're gonna like convict these girls of prostitution and with something
They're
they
being
didn't even
forced
want to be
into it
doing.
probably. Yeah, that's just terrible.
They definitely were, and as I figured this out later, but Kraft pays it to go away, and it's kind of like, well, you acquired the evidence illegally, which totally you're not allowed to
Mhm.
put cameras in the ceilings. I get that, but like, he did it, even though they're not allowed to show the jury the tape, which makes it a her word versus his type of situation, or
Yeah.
like their word versus his. The cops have seen the tape. They've already looked at it. They know it's him. He got a blowjob. He got a hand job. He had sex. Like, or no, he didn't have sex, but he had oral sex quite a bit. And he came back and did it again, and they nutting in his towel and all that. Here's what's sad or pathetic about this simp. This is a billionaire
Right.
who could just get like a high end hooker from Vegas or something, but he's slumming with these like not that good
Not that
looking
attractive. They
older
weren't the
Chinese
high
lady.
level ones.
Yeah, it's like the Rock's old poem. He's like, you dress like a hooker, but not the expensive kind. Um, these were not the expensive kind. He's paying him $75 or whatever. You're a
Jesus.
billionaire, and you're going
He's
back
cheap.
there. And let me. So like, why would you go back there when you can go anywhere and get a new one? And I'm just being really crass and like this sounds horrible. Dude, don't play stupid. Like I'm
Hmm.
being serious. Like if you have this much money, get a classy Chinese hooker
By
or
the
whatever.
newest hottest model.
Right. If that's your thing, go get an escort or find some gold digger who will do it for gifts or something, whatever.
Mhm.
Here's what we find out. So in an email from Kraft to the guy that drove him there, that set it up, that knew about where this place was, and maybe these girls weren't that good looking, but they were really good at sucking dick. Who
Mhm.
knows? Maybe they just had some skills because hey, they've been doing it for a long
Got that
time.
magic,
It
right?
could be they
The girl's a
hey
little too
they
good. Just like, wait, I don't know if that's a good thing.
well yeah
You get a little bit like, wait a second.
could be a lady boy now. So in this email to his friend, he's arguing with him. You don't. I can't say
What
this
you
out
do?
loud. He's like, you don't understand. Me and Mingling have a real connection.
Mingling.
Like he's like think he's got a real connection with this hooker. We've got something special.
They're in
Because I'm
love.
sure they're like told him you're not like all the other guys. Like you are
We like
exactly
you,
like all
Mr.
the other
Kraft.
guys. Yeah, it's like
We
you
love you a
guys
long
like
time.
yeah. Oh God, it's just like he fell for it. He felt because they saying stuff because it's part of the fantasy. You're not no one believes that. It's part of
No, and if she's
the
not coming home
game
with
or
you for
whatever.
free, then she don't
Yeah,
like you. It's like,
yeah, like you paid her, didn't you? But yeah, I mean, he went back there again and got a little double, one jerking, one sucking, and it's like, oh man, two women. It's like, dude. But
he just
he
wanted Ling Ling
thought
to like him.
well. Here's what the thing is: they sat and talked for a long time too. That's on the tape. So,
Dang.
because she wants him to come
Out of all the
back,
guys,
she's
I
like,
almost feel
"Yeah."
sympathetic for the. I
She's
feel a
looking
little
at the
sympathetic
ring
for
on
this
his
one.
hand. It's so bad, but she's talking to him and stuff, and it's like he really bonded with a hooker and thought he had something
I hope he was
special.
tipping her.
I get
Probably
he
not.
didn't really. He just pay. I don't know what the regular price is, so I don't know if 75 was over or what, but
So he's
maybe he paid double.
is he a bell?
Kraft, yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
Um,
No tip. You're still getting the 75
so is
bucks.
Leon Black, by the way. And so is his friend. All of them. But
almost all
He
of them.
weasels out of
Every
it because of the
single
way
time.
they gather the evidence and stuff. But it's like, you did it. It's on tape. The police watched the tape. They couldn't present it in court, but you definitely fucking did it. And what's just sad is you like fell in love with a hooker and thought she was into you.
That is sad if you're a billionaire.
This is a guy that like falls
like
in love with the
who's a
stripper
four at the
that
mall.
he's paying for
a
the
mall
lap dance.
stripper. Yeah, a mall stripper.
I know
not a
I
guy
paid for the
anyway.
lap dance, but I think she was into it. Like, man, she's not.
She really liked me, Ling Ling. I mean, he sounds like the least awful out of all the.
Really, he is the least awful. Like that, he, you know, he may have not known what that was, and then they just surprise, and he's like, "Oh, I guess they're into me." Like you, and I'm just paying for the massage, not the last part. It's like,
She
dude,
just liked me so much and wanted
you
to.
cannot possibly be that naive. Are you writing
No,
these
I don't
emails
think
that
so.
pretend to be that naive because you know you're going to court? No, because he hadn't been caught yet. So, isn't that sick? Like,
Yeah, it's a
but it's just like,
business.
it's not a big deal. But the thing is, you ended up like helping prosecute these people who are definitely victims of sex trafficking. Your buddies with Leon Black, who is financing Jeffrey Epstein, who he fucking knows is raping kids. And this is the thing, they all know each other. There's not a lot of
Yeah,
degrees between them and Nygard and Miller. Like Prince Andrew knew everybody.
yeah.
Prince Andrew visited Peter Nygard and Jeffrey Epstein and
Mhm.
Maxwell and Jean-Luc Burnell. Burnell knows
They're all
Miller.
connected.
Wexler knows Miller. Bronfman sold him a house. Bronfman knows,
Wow.
well, the Bronfman syndicate knew Epstein too. I mean, that's like, it's just a spider
So
web
it's this big connection. And this stuff
billionaires.
is still going on.
They're all into kitty fiddling or prostitutes or all of the above. Forced prostitution is a sex slave. And they all know each other. And it's ad nauseum. Like there's more cases, but like this is doing this Substack called
And
the
there's so
Billionaire
many that
Pedos.
probably been buried too.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
Mike
well, they
Jeffries
called
too is
Epstein's
also
plane
hired by Wexner.
the Lido
knows Burnell.
Express. Like, yeah. Well, they called his plane the Lido Express, right? Which is based off a novel.
Yeah,
of,
Lolita,
like,
the book.
I think raping I forget how old, a really young girl, 13 maybe. I'm not positive. Could be off with that.
I think it was
They
12, but
openly called his
there's a
plane that.
movie called
12, yeah,
Lolita
might have been younger. You
too.
might be right.
And the Natalie Portman is an actual kid in the movie, and she's
Wow.
like parading around in lingerie and stuff as a 12-year-old in the movie. It's
Yeah,
kind of
and
disturbing.
they openly called his plane that. That's what it was nicknamed. It's like everyone knew. It wasn't a secret. Everyone knew exactly what was going on. I mean, he'd been busted already. Like when he got off like the case, I remember how basically
But this is the problem, Jake. Everybody knew, and they're like, "Why didn't they say something?" Because that's not unique in Palm Beach. That
it's the norm
whole
among these
area
people, exactly.
is just how they are. All of them are like that.
Same with Harvey
So-
Weinstein. Like you see the old clips and making jokes about it, and everyone's busting up laughing. All the
Right.
Hollywood people about, oh, you're gonna have to sit on the couch with Harvey Weinstein, and they show the actors and they're just hysterically laughing because like everyone knows, like, oh, you have to have sex with Harvey Weinstein. That's hilarious.
Yep.
So it's like they act, and then later, oh, we didn't know. It's like bullshit. You all knew. You knew exactly what was going on.
You definitely
It
had
doesn't
a
mean he's not a
clue.
total piece of shit, but like, yeah, pretty much the majority of Hollywood seemed to know exactly what he was doing. Then all at
And you know
once, they're
what?
like,
Some of the
"Oh, he's
girls
a
that
piece of
take
shit."
that deal that will sleep with people to further their careers, like they're prostituting themselves, that's
Mhm.
wrong on their end. Like, okay, they're not going to give
Exactly.
you the job unless you do this, then don't do that job. Why don't just say,
Mhm.
hey, they're trying to get me to do sexual favors to get the job. Go to the cops right away, whatever. But they're like, they want the job, they want the money, and they're
They
like,
did
I
it
don't
and they
want to
got
do
fame.
this, but and then they weigh the pros and cons. Like, okay, I will because I get such a benefit out of it. It's a weird type of rape. It's on the rape's a spectrum,
Yeah,
like
No, I would
brutal,
agree.
like
Gang or a stranger where you go and attack someone
Yeah.
versus if you're like
tackled you in
trading
the park and
power.
pin you down rape, date rape.
That's like the 10 rape,
uh,
the worst. But yeah, definitely.
yeah,
I would
it's
agree
like
that there's like a range of
spectrum.
it.
casting couch rape is rape. It's not the same as I was drugged and banged in the rear or whatever. Like these people.
No, I would agree. There almost should be like different laws, different prison sentences, because the girls are half guilty too. I still think it's evil rape. It's closed, but it's also like
The
okay,
same
if
as
you know what
sex
they're doing, they're
trafficking.
trading.
Like, did you kidnap somebody and force her to have sex with people, or did an escort cross state lines? Because
Yeah,
there's
I
a
think that's what I don't
huge
like with
difference
these. No,
between
and I don't
those
like
two
with these
things.
terms. I know I strongly
Yeah.
agree, and I hate how they'll call something sex trafficking, like the Tates are sex traffickers versus people getting kidnapped in sex trafficking. It's like let's get some realistic words for what you're talking about or what they're even accused of. They're never even accused of anything,
Yeah, but somebody
slightly
like
like that.
stripping online that doesn't touch anybody, like there should be a different term for that versus like what Nygard was doing with the shitting on
Yeah,
all of them. So
I don't know the term for that. There's
here,
some weird shit
when you
these
brought up the
people.
Tates, is an interesting case because, especially with Andrew Tate, everybody heard that story. Almost nobody heard about Robert Miller or any of these people besides Epstein.
Yeah,
Didn't until today. They'd never heard these stories unless they heard them from me
no,
earlier. Because
I
they
haven't
got
heard any of these
no,
stories.
yeah, they got zero attention. So Robert Miller's a great case because this is in Canada and the United States. He raped people for 3 decades, threesomes with high school girls, giving them hockey bags, all that stuff. He's got a conspiracy where he's like hired his own police to go harass people down his trail, create a fuck tub. It's a fucked up story. It's a juicy story that people would definitely like be interested in and want to know about. It involves a massive company that gets sold to Taiwan. It's a okay, no news.
Yep, I didn't
And,
hear about
and the
today.
other thing about the Tates is the day after Denise George filed a lawsuit in the Virgin Islands, which led to this whole case. It was Morgan, J.P. Morgan, da 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 da, and hundreds of victims getting paid out millions of dollars. Is when they arrested Tristan and Andrew. And when you tried to Google about sex trafficking, it all was that and not Denise George
Interesting.
and Epstein. Look, it was like December 26th to 8th around there. I'm a day ahead, so like for me it would have been.
Yeah.
But it was like I'm sitting there trying to follow like Denise George is the Attorney General in the Virgin Islands, a new one. The all previous ones have been paid. She ain't being paid off because Epstein was out, and she got fired from her position from this, but she filed a lawsuit, and guess what? All these victims got paid out in a huge settlement. Like it, she's another unsung hero, Denise George, but when that happened, it was all Tate, 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 and I know
Yep.
people hate them for they because of the political or whatever,
They say
whatever.
some wild things, but if you look at the evidence,
Well, I get shit for
it doesn't
defending
look like
them, but
they're
I'm
guilty.
like,
No.
dude, I defended Gates, I defended Kavanaugh, I defended all these other people. Like, if you're innocent,
Yeah.
then you
I
get
mean,
defended. And
I
if
know
you're
them, so
not,
I'm slightly biased, but I tried to look at the information as unbiased as I could because I'm not going to sit there and defend them. It looks like they're
well,
guilty,
even
even
if
if
you
they're my
did,
friends.
it
You
doesn't
know,
matter if you know them. Like, if they'd rape somebody, you'd be like,
No,
fuck you,
I
you
would,
should be
yeah, I would,
castrated. Yeah,
yeah,
like,
I would. I'd be like, these guys, fuck these guys.
there's
But I looked at the
nobody like my
evidence,
best
and I just
friend
didn't
in
see
the
it.
world. If you did that, fuck you. You know,
No, I
like,
agree. Yeah, the
yeah,
red
it's
line
like,
is when you're raping people, particularly
yeah,
children.
like who? Nobody could ever like. There's no. It's like if you did that, if you really did that to girls, you're done. You know.
Well, plus, I
But
mean,
there
being one
was
of those
no
guys,
evidence.
girls just throw themselves at them constantly. So it's like
The
you
whole
really think
thing in
they're
that
like,
case just boiled down to like having a webcam studio where like guys got suckered out of their money because they're
yeah,
not really gonna meet the girl. Like, dude, that's like going to the casino and being mad
yeah,
that you lost money.
no, yeah,
Why are
and
you on OnlyFans, you fucking simp? Like, of course you're gonna lose money.
yeah, you
That's her
dumbass.
job is to convince you that she likes you and she doesn't. And if you pay her, that's your fault. If you're not really talking to the girl, you're talking to some other girl or some guy. What do you fucking think? Do you think she's actually talking to thousands of people at once? Of course they
No, these
hire
guys are such
people.
dumbasses.
Like,
Most of
you're
these
so
girls,
stupid.
they
Like,
hire men to pretend like they're them. So it's just two dudes flirting with each other. It's just so pathetic and sad.
yeah,
I think the men are
yeah.
more pathetic. At least the girls are
Actually,
making
they
money.
hire a lot of women in like Indonesia to do the chats to
Really.
people. So sometimes
I
it's
know some
really
of the
like,
hire men for sure too, though. So sometimes it is two
yeah, yeah.
dudes being like, "Hey, show me a
Sometimes.
picture of your dick." fucking, it's pathetic. If you're a man on OnlyFans, you're fucking pathetic.
It's
Like,
like,
think of how
if
sad that is.
if you're shocked to find out that you were not actually talking to the girl, you're as
It's
dumb
like
as Robert
Robert
Kraft.
Kraft.
Yeah,
Robert
yeah,
Kraft. Our minds went right there. That's hilarious.
you just got crafted.
You got crafted.
Like you're a fucking idiot. It's like, oh, they ripped him off. Like it is not a rip off. You are paying for a fantasy. Because first, what it really is, and they won't admit it, is like why does OnlyFans work? Why the fuck would you pay for porn when it's free everywhere? The reason is because it's a long ordeal of trying to solicit prostitution from somebody. And the whole thing is if they donate enough to their OnlyFans, can we meet in person? That's the goal. And so these girls would string them along and then never meet him in person. And they're getting mad about getting conned about that when you're the one trying to solicit prostitution, which is illegal.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I don't think
fuck
the
you.
ethics of
Like-
it and the girls is good, but the men are fucking idiots. You got to, they're more guilty. At least the women are making money.
It's
The
a-
guy's just being a complete fucking jackass.
It's a way like India is making a bunch of Eastern Europeans millionaires.
Lots of Indians doing it. Well,
It's
let's look,
a
see if I
lot
have
of
any
Indians
super
doing
chats real quick. We've been on for a while. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Hold on. I think we have a few.
I have zero sympathy for crafters. Like you,
Yeah, no, I don't feel
I'm
bad
not
for
even-
people.
I'm like all these
I'm
people,
not,
like,
I'm
ban
not
porn,
defending
blah,
the
blah,
girls
blah.
either.
if you're a really lonely guy, maybe you're really fat or you're handicapped or something, and you want to pay somebody to pay attention to you, I don't even like that. I don't care. I'm like, all right, that's pathetic. But that's your only option. Go for it. It's your money. If you want to spend it
Yeah.
on that, go for it. But you don't solicit prostitution. Like, think of the long-term effect of that, and how that opens up things for extortion and all the problems that would cause if you do that. If you want to look at pictures and jerk off, you're sad. But hey, it's you, man. If you want to do that, go for it.
Yeah, it's definitely not. There's better things you could use your time on, but hey.
Yeah.
Okay, let's read a few super chats. What do we have? Hi, Jake. Thanks for you and your work on the J narrative as of late. How do you have a YouTube channel and Dawson does not? Great question. Why do you not have a YouTube channel? Let's get Dawson. Unfortunately, I know no one at YouTube to pull any strings. It's ridiculous you don't have a channel.
Well,
So, I mean, I
guess you might lose yours soon. So,
I know I have been.
It's kind of like
times.
if you have, I think you have like 80,000. You have pretty good for the time you've been on.
I think 95,000 now or somewhere around
95.
there.
So it might be when you hit 100K, whatever, and they notice you, then they'll get rid of you. Like,
Yeah, I hope not, but that's a possibility. That's why I'm Rumble and trying Twitter and stuff too. But we'll see what happens. But there's
I
definitely a
went
lot more
pretty
people on
hard into
YouTube.
paint, too. Like, I didn't just say like, I did I did a little bit. I crossed the line a little bit more than other people. I named names.
But you're never
specific.
racist. You're respectful. You do
Yeah,
your names,
I don't
you-
mind
you
racist
bring,
jokes
you
and stuff,
bring
but-
receipts and
Mhm.
details. I think that's what they don't like. I use this example a lot because Harvey Weinstein produced the the Fahrenheit 9/11. That was the most pushed documentary of all time. They take yours and ban it on 9/11.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit strange.
Michael Moore was,
He was used as a puppet to push a false
He-
conspiracy.
well, he had done some good work prior to Fahrenheit 9/11, Bowling for Columbine and stuff. But I don't think he was like a gatekeeper. I think he really just didn't know. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think
he was used. I think he was used by Weinstein would be my guess.
it was putting pressure on the Bush family to embarrass him about the Saudis. That was the kind of the central part of that movie. But yeah, I mean, we
They
come
left
to
out
find
the whole
like,
Israel part. They left out.
Bandar
Like the
Bush
JFK
and,
movie.
and the Haifa and Prince Turki bin Fasil Assad did finance Nawifa Hazmi Khalid Midhar through Osama Masnan and Omar Bayoumi. That is a fact. And then he gets into Thamari and Rashisi and all these other people in this network. But that is something that they had been doing through BCCI during Operation Cyclone and Eagle Claw Iran Contra for a while. And I got a film going through all this stuff. Like, but just saying the Saudis and saying what I said with a bunch of names and like is different. Like I have exact details, who did what, when they called, all that. 7 calls they made from their San Diego hub that the NSA had intercepted. They had 221 calls from bin Laden's phone himself.
Who was it? Who was it that made the calls?
The hijackers that were on Flight 77. So like they knew where they were. They had them located. They didn't act. They had an FBI informant in there
So they were being watched.
who
and
had
tracked
his
before.
handler. His name was Stephen Butler. So they knew exactly where they were. They knew, and even prior to 9/11, they were involved in the USS Cole bombing. So they should have arrested them, and they didn't. They were not sharing information. They were not acting on their own information that they had. They had information on Atta and also Mohammed Zammar back when they were in Germany before they even reached the United States. They didn't act on that. They knew about al-Shayhi and his money laundering. They knew there's so much information that the CIA, the FBI, the NSA had on 9/11 hijackers, and nothing was done. And the Israelis had the same
Yeah,
information.
they were watching them. I think some of them even lived in the same
more
town
than
as
watching
the,
them.
the art students.
Well, the DEA groups or the art students actually gave logistical support to 9/11 hijackers.
You know, it
brought 'em
seemed
from
like
Florida
they
to New
were
York.
working side by side.
They were. They helped. They helped block electronic eavesdropping.
Yep.
They protected them. They shielded them from local authorities. That's what their role was.
Yeah, the art students, like you said, they did stuff like they blocked the. A lot of them were experts.
Well, they were
in, like,
spying on the DEA because of Israel had a $80 million ecstasy ring. But what they did is, rather than creating a new cell from scratch, they just built upon a pre-existing one that was already networked in the United States and had them follow the hijackers around and protect them from local authorities. That's all that was. But man, you wait till my movie comes out. I have
Yeah, we'll
we'll
talk after that.
great stuff on what was going on. I'm trying to hold back.
All right, let's hit a few more of these super chats real quick. What's Epstein's link to the 2008 financial collapse? I don't know if there is one or not, so I'll let you if you want to.
I mean, you could kind of blame him for part of it because as fiasco at Bear Stearns, but the 2008 financial collapse on mortgage-backed securities was not one person. Like, it was a combination of things where you had the Fed involvement, raising adjustable rate mortgage rates, teaser rates on ARMs 17 times. You had all these like Hollywood shows and stuff for like really pushing the people to buy and flip a house. Like, you can get one and flip it and da-da-da. And you know, you can't allow a bunch of people to buy property on credit who never should have been allowed to borrow money. They gave them ninja loans. They were going credit default swaps, and people didn't have paper, didn't have collateral. Sometimes they didn't even have a proper income, and they still give them a loan, a subprime loan. But it was because the investment banks had, and this is something Feingold and McCain did, they separated the moral hazard so that the securities that are issued out, all these like IOUs, people that loan money and you're supposed to pay it back, but you can't. Well, normally the lending institution has risk. If I loan you money to buy a house and you can't pay, I'm out too. Like, you need to be able to pay me
That's
back.
what happens if I loan you money and you don't pay me back. I just lost that money.
But this is what they did. So like, let's say I loan you money, so there's an IOU. And so you owe me, like, eventually, you got to pay back the money and for your mortgage or whatever. Well, what if I sell that IOU to a third party? So why would the third party buy an IOU that's subprime and crap? Like, let's say Jake, we'll remove you. Some other guy that this guy doesn't have a good job. He doesn't have good credit. He's not going to pay it back. Well, there's a simple way around that. You just lie. So what they did is they bribed rating agencies to give AAA ratings, which is like what you'd give government bonds, like a very top rating, for what they knew was absolute crap. And then what they did is they would take a bunch of subprime mortgages and bundle them together. And then we used to call it the Polish roll. It's like a bunch of $1 bills with the 20 on top, but underneath the 20 is just a bunch of ones. They make it look good, and with these complex derivatives and things, and be like, oh, look, it's got a AAA rating. But the rating agencies were not fooled. They knew it was shit. They didn't care. It was part of the game to pass the IOUs to a third party so they'd be left with their dick in the wind when they weren't repaid. which gave the lending institutions all the incentive in the world to lend out as many subprime mortgages as they could, because they were selling the securities and profiting from that. And then they know it doesn't matter if that person can collect or not. It's not my problem, it's their problem.
Yeah.
Combine that with the fact that so many people are buying stuff on credit instead of capital, which makes the housing costs go up. Because if you have a bunch of people buying in the market at the same time, it's like, well, why should I sell it to Bill for 75,000 when I can sell it to Bob for 85,000? But Bob doesn't actually have the 85,000. He's just using a bunch of credit, you know? And so it was this cascading effect, and it wasn't just like Epstein.
It was
or
lots
just,
of, yeah, it was lots of people involved.
Yeah, it was Citigroup. It was.
And they were all bailed out, and it destroyed so many Americans' lives, cost us trillions in taxpayer money, huge hit to America. And the people that did it, they were bailed out and fined and given bonoses. Just disgusting.
And they had,
Wall
they
Street
lied
is-
about the insurance too. That's what happened with AIG. They
Oh,
was
shocking.
yeah, I know. What they did with these, the insurance scam is normally, like normal insurance that everybody understands is, let's say I have a house and I buy fire insurance. If a fire burns my house down, I can collect some of it back by getting my fire insurance. But what they were doing is they would say, okay, they would take out multiple insurances on one property. So
Interesting.
100 people have fire insurance on this house. Well, it's great. Like 100 people got to buy in. So as long as the house never catches on fire, you're able to collect a lot. But if it does, you now have to pay out not to one, but to all, and you're not going to have it. That's this like simplistic version. Of
They
what
seem to
did.
make money off everything. All the inside trading,
off
9/11, October 7th. We don't have time to get into that, but it's always making money off everything. Okay, I got to hit some of these super chats. $100 from H Key. So thank you. I love you guys. This shit Rumble chat is a gift. Ryan, I'm cooled without my hoodies. Preach, lads. Jake, keep up the fight. Keep it going. So thank you. I just gave us $100 just to say thanks. That's nice.
Nice.
Fucking awesome. My first time doing super
Yeah, I just
chats,
refunded somebody because their hoodie didn't arrive. I'm like, I don't know why. It's
maybe
drop shipping.
that was
out
it.
of my
Yeah, I get that
hands.
sometimes too. Exactly.
I tell you what, man, look and see if you got knocked, because sometimes people just take the box from your door or whatever. That's happening in certain places.
Hey Ryan, what's it like being the brother of everyone's favorite Dawson twin? I guess this is something to the Dawson things.
Is that from my brother? No.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you for all your work, though.
Well, my twin brother was just on television for his discovery of the lost colony. So it's pretty cool.
You were telling me that.
Killing it.
He's also super intelligent, doing work. I'm gonna have to talk to him as well.
We've done podcasts together on the Civil War and stuff like that, and on Native American history. He knows a lot about that. So,
are you guys like super close, or no?
I mean, he's in America and I'm in Korea, but I just saw him recently.
You get along. You don't like hate each other. Well, I guess you're speaking highly of him. Obviously not.
I mean, we fight and stuff. But
we fight a little.
Not
having an older
recently.
brother. Yeah, couldn't imagine having a twin, because I had an older brother and I just got beat up all the time. But twin, you're like evenly matched, so that'd be odd.
No, I was always the stronger in that, but I didn't bully people. I have another brother, a sister, 5 stepbrothers. Like, we fought because fighting's fun, not like because we were angry. We would fight because like we liked martial arts and stuff. I used to teach jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm actually really highly trained too. But
yeah, you're like pretty serious in jiu-jitsu, right? You train like a lot. I think that's how we.
Yeah, it was Gustavo Machado, and then
how do we connect?
Don Tyrell in judo. What's that? We know a lot of the same people.
A few years ago. Yeah, no, because we talked. You're one of the first people before I was, awake to what's
Probably
going on.
Through Eddie Bravo, maybe. I'm not sure.
He might be Eddie Bravo. I think he's like, oh, you should talk to this guy.
It might have been.
But I don't think he'll talk to you.
I talked to you.
Yeah, it might have been him. But,
Eddie and I, like every time I go to LA, I'd see him. We'd have dinner or do something, and we'd talk conspiracy stuff. He loves it, So,
right.
But I haven't been in California in a while. I don't know if I'm going back. Like, they've destroyed that place.
Yeah, that's my home. It makes me so sad what they've done to it.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends there.
That's why.
And a lot of them have moved though. Like,
No, yeah, I moved, but it's such a beautiful, amazing place that they just destroyed. Makes me so angry. And that did make me to the point where I was like, oh, fuck these Democrats, as a Republican. But now these Republicans are so bad, I can't be part of either party.
But Eddie trained with the
It's like-
Machado too.
Yeah, John Jock Machado. John
Yeah.
Jock, right? He's the one with like half his
I had
hands missing.
Gustavo on the East Coast. He used to teach out of Virginia Beach. I don't know what
Yeah.
he's doing now, but and Vince.
No, I've
Guardian.
never trained the Machado brothers. I would love to. Want to train? I've talked to
They're fun.
John Jock Machado a few times. He invited me to come out and train with him. Probably good. Or both
I
a
would,
little older
like,
now, so we can.
Get through practice and then puke in the parking lot.
Yeah, right.
Push hard. But they're really big on the stamina, and that in jiu-jitsu, like conditioning, a lot of times you can win with that.
Oh, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
like
no, but the,
I don't want to put a percentage on it, but like it's as important as your technique, I would say.
It's massive. No, I would agree. Efficiency of energy too. Cardio, but also if you're using your energy well. The master of that is like Gordon Ryan.
Endurance
He's so
and
efficient with
stamina.
energy.
Like one's with lungs, one's with muscles, right? You need both.
No, 100%. All right, one or two more super chats looks like. Thanks for fighting the good fight, gentlemen. Also, F. Lincoln. Who's Lincoln?
Abe Lincoln. They're saying fuck Lincoln.
Whatever.
Every show I do,
Well, thank you
I get
for the.
we get like a $5 fuck Lincoln. I'm proud of that.
That's-
It doesn't matter what the
That's
topic
something
is.
for
I'm
you,
like,
apparently.
fuck him.
Well, thank you forever. I think he gave us $20.
Lincoln's
thank
a
you,
horrible
DMZ.
person. He did not free the slaves. Like the whole story you've heard is absolute
Okay,
shit.
so yeah, so I completely
He
missed what he was
started the
referring to.
income tax. Everyone's like, the income tax started with the Aldrich bill in the Federal
Was
Reserve.
that
I'm like,
Lincoln?
no, you're
Wow,
wrong.
fuck
It's
Lincoln. then.
Lincoln. Lincoln started the income
Fuck
tax.
Lincoln then. Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Lincoln killed 1 million people. I mean,
Okay, I think we got the super chats. There's tons of other questions, but unfortunately, I don't think we can. I'll see if there anything looks really interesting. When's
I
the
can
documentary going to be?
question.
When's
without a
the
filibuster.
documentary going to be released? Someone asked.
Shortly after 9/11, I'm going to let the wave of idiocy pass and then release it.
Yeah. Why has Zorro Ranch so much more cover up than Epstein Island?
I think the island is just more like sexy to like interesting to people because it's a private island. There's 2 islands, by the way. They don't talk about Greater
Really?
St. Jeffries at all. Yeah, he had 2
Oh,
islands.
wow, I didn't know this.
See, like you need to listen to the Cooper interview I did.
No, I'll listen to that. I just know you talk about Epstein so
Zorro
much.
Ranch-
I didn't want to do. I tried listening to it, but I didn't see it. I'll look for it again.
It's Martin. I'll link it to you. That's by the way, like I can just send it to you. Yeah, I guess New York, Florida, and New Mexico and Paris he wasn't there as like New York was kind of his headquarters and it's his oldest property. So that one, and then Palm Beach is where he ended up spending a lot of his time later. And then the islands really are the least important. Most of, I explain this to people, everyone thinks they like put a camera in every room and would compromise people having sex in their house or something. You can't blackmail somebody having sex on your own property. Because the first thing the police are going to ask is, where'd this take place? Your bedroom. Huh. Why is Bill Gates fucking a 16-year-old in your house? Like, why is this? How do you know this
Interesting.
16-year-old? What, like, you're going to incriminate yourself if you film people fucking on your property. If you're going to honey trap somebody, you have it in some neutral place like a hotel or whatever. Or you could have them meet girls at your house and try and lure them into exchanging communication or something. So you have text messages or something, but you don't want to ever film them in your house. And that was a huge mistake they made because Prince Andrew lost $16 million because Maxwell was stupid enough to take a Polaroid in her house with herself in the picture and Virginia and Andrew and actually
That's the picture I
Epstein's
see.
reflection is in the window, so he's in the picture too. He's one that took it. And Virginia was smart. Like, she Stockholm syndrome, faked it the whole time until they trusted her enough. I just want a Polaroid to show my mom I met a prince or whatever. So they let her do that. And then she had it. And he did Andrew was in defeat. Why do I know all this stuff? So they had a bath, and he's sucking under toes and all these other foot guy,
But one of those foot guys. I don't get
and
that.
a very everyone's against him. He's very a
There's
quick
a lot of them though. Apparently.
feet's a thing for people, I guess. But he his sex was under 2 minutes. Let's put it that way.
Oh wow, it's pretty pathetic.
He got the other Kraft.
He
But
got
Kraft's an
crafted.
old guy. At least he's old. Like maybe I don't know.
Out of everyone we talked about, Kraft's the most likable one. Well, actually, I don't know. I gotta look him up. But I've heard he's the most sympathetic. He fell in love with a hooker. It's like
Yeah,
Ling Ling.
he really wasn't like seeking it out either. He just happened upon it or whatever.
Yeah, I think someone has a studio booked in a few minutes because there's so much more. Like there's the
It kind of
there's like the
exonerates him because if he fell in love with it, he fell for that. That means he really hadn't been doing that in the past. Probably.
that's true. That's why
Yeah.
probably. Hopefully he wasn't like diddling kids or anything with Epstein.
No,
I don't know much
but
about Kraft.
he certainly worked. He certainly had all the wrong people around him.
It is weird how these people are all so loyal to Israel. It's like almost like their life depends
yeah.
upon it.
Oh,
They,
that-
it's all they do is fight for Israel. It's so bizarre. Like the Wexners, the Bronfmans, the
Leon Black
it-
too,
yeah,
and
it's-
Steinhardt too. I didn't even talk about him that much, but they did Birthright Israel together. They did.
Oh, yeah, they're the
all
ones that
these-
created that. They didn't do it together. They created it, right?
They made it.
Forgot
Yeah,
about
they
that,
founded
yeah.
it. Co-founders would say. And well, the Bronfmans were the head of the Jewish Congress of Canada. Samuel was, and then Charles was part of the UJA, United Jewish Appeals, and now it's called the United Council of Federation or whatever. It's just I just call it UJA. So, but these are like the top level assets of Israel in the United States and Canada, heads of the largest Israeli advocate that they call Jewish, but there's Israeli advocate organizations there are. They're the heads of these things. And it's so funny that all these kitty fiddlers just happen to be so gun-ho Israel. Like,
It's really bizarre. And they just let the pedophile out in prison and for jail here in Vegas. It's just they're allowed to get away with it. The whole Epstein thing. I saw
I
the
don't think
DA
he
was
even
saying,
went to jail.
yeah.
I think they
the
just let
DA
him leave.
Yeah,
Epstein actually fled to Israel too. When he got popped the first time, he fled to Israel. And they told him, you got to go back. Because don't worry, Barry Kirscher is going to get you a deal, which he did, the sweetheart deal. And he only ends up doing basically Sunday jail because the other 6 days a week
He
he's
could
on
he
work
could
leave, except for
leave jail.
nights.
That's like so insane.
Yeah, well, with escorts. He continued doing his practice the whole time.
It's just so insane. Like even the DA,
He
when
brought,
they told to give him a sweetheart deal.
He brought like girls' panties to the jail, like little like with strawberry shortcake and stuff on, like little kids' underwear from Kmart or whatever. He bought it out, and I don't even know. But like, okay, so he would sleep on these like stacks of like little kids' underwear and stuff.
Jesus.
And they like, the dude was so sick. He had all these prosthetic limbs in his house for some reason, like eyeballs and yeah, what the fuck?
Wasn't he trying to do some kind of like supreme breeding too? Like, bro, you don't got supreme genetics. He believes some kind of weird breeding shit.
He
I
had
think.
some fantasy where he'd freeze his brain stem and penis. And they said he killed himself, the guy that wants to live forever. Yeah,
We-
he had
we all
some
know
sick-
that didn't happen.
He wanted to like impregnate a certain type. He had this like blonde ballerina type. That was his sort of niche or whatever. He wanted a thin, blonde, not quite developed in the chest yet. Like braces were a plus.
Yeah, like super young.
Yeah, innocent.
No, yeah, definitely a sick man. And it seems like my guess would be there's probably multiple other blackmail operations, and that's only or the operation. Not even necessarily blackmail. Sometimes gifting other sick people this type of stuff. I don't know, like I don't know the details, but I'm sure you've heard of, like Roy Cohen. Supposedly he was doing this type of stuff, like sexual
He's
blackmail.
into boys. And him and Henry
Yeah.
Schein. Yeah, I did a film on that with it's called Trump Sinus Ball and Chain, but it goes all the way back to RFK. Roy Cohen was He died of AIDS. He was one of Trump's lawyers, but he only knew him a few years. Like he's way past his prime by then, but he knew the guys from General Dynamics and, of course, Frank Costello and Lansky. They're all blackmailing Hoover.
Yeah, Meyer Lansky, they had blackmail allegedly on J. Edgar Hoover. That's like wild. This is not
And
news.
Hoover had
He's been doing it
blackmail
a
on
long
everyone
time.
else.
Eli
That
Cohen,
thing-
I'm for sure you know. Yeah, Hoover. Yeah, Hoover. I think he learned it from them after he got blackmailed. He started blackmailing
Yeah,
all
Eli
kinds of
out of
Americans.
Lebanon. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot of
because he
these
went to
things.
they do it in these foreign countries too. A lot of these Gulf states, they do it with these like Muslim leaders who are supposedly and sexually not doing this stuff. They send over girls to have sex with them, and they get
Khashoggi.
them. They do stuff to them too. So it's like
There's a
it
Lee
clearly
brothel
goes
case
deep.
out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, and another one just out of D.C. that is high-end Asian brothel run by these 3 Koreans, but it's a bunch of Chinese workers again. There's 2,900 names. We know because we have the cell phone records. Only 31 names are public. The
Wow.
rest, they're not going
Or
to
too
share.
important.
Like,
Too important. Like, sorry,
won't
we're
tell
not
the-
sharing these names.
That's like a miniature Deborah Jean Palfrey. The DC Madame had tens of thousands of Johns serviced out of townhouses in DC. And that was on politicians. That wasn't donor class stuff. That was absolutely blackmail.
Yeah, 'cause I
like
think
everything
100%
they
blackmail.
think
Some of
Epstein
it's like a
was,
favor. Some of it's.
Palfrey actually was. Yeah.
It is weird that Epstein's like giving these guys favors. The Bill Clintons, like it's a little bit sick. But
Bill Clinton
it's
is a biter.
you know all their fetishes.
He likes to bite people on the ass and on the lip. Well, they reported it. Like,
Yeah.
pick somebody. Yeah, like
Yes, you went in like
Dick
detailed read
Cheney
like all
liked it
the files. Huh?
rough. Yeah.
I didn't even know. I didn't
Bush
know Dick
Senior
Cheney
was into Little Black Boys.
Oh my God.
Hillary Clinton liked the 6.9, and she used to wear 2 pairs of pantyhose to get some extra stank in there. She's
Can you
into,
imagine having sex with Hillary Clinton?
Turkish girls,
Who would do with Hillary Clinton? I hope they were paid well.
lesbians.
No,
I mean,
wait.
she's into muffs, man. She's a carpet
Wait,
worker.
Epstein didn't pay well. Jesus.
He really didn't compared to these other guys.
Well, that guy was the only
Cheap.
one that was. That guy was the only one that wasn't a Jew that was paying well.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I just
I
noticed
mean,
the connection.
well,
Not
yeah,
defending the
right.
guy. I'm just saying.
And a hockey bag as a bonus, you know? Hey,
Yes.
if you're gonna be raped,
At least pay well and give a hockey bag full of.
you want it to be by
We
this
don't
Quebec
condone
guy.
rape, but
You definitely
so-
don't want it to be Nygard. He didn't even give you money, and he probably
No.
took some poo on the nose. Yeah.
oof.
I met
yeah.
him. I didn't know that I met him. I was in a steam room in Marina Del Rey. He has a mullet, right? Or he did.
Mhm.
I used to take pictures for mulletsgalore.com. It's like this stupid internet site where we find different specimen at Walmart and
I
stuff. And
remember
get
the
the
old mullet pictures. That was
I like-
awesome.
like a lot of those were from me and my girlfriend.
I probably saw some. That's
We're
awesome.
gonna go specimen.
You've done
on
so
these.
much good work.
I got a
not
thin
just,
mullet.
Not just
I
on
got
the
a-
JQ. You've also done it on the
There's
mullet.
a ginger mullet. Yeah, you could just go to Walmart and get a bunch, like all in a day. There's so many mullets
just-
at Walmart. for
That's
whatever
just
reason.
brilliant that you'd go and spend a couple hours at Walmart just to get mullet shots.
It was like the internet. Was
It's
doing,
good
it was
work.
like,
It's good
"Ooh,
honest work.
put
Don't get me
pictures on the
wrong.
internet. It was like we're doing work, and I was like, "This is hilarious. I love this. I'm going to contribute to it." We got mullets, you know, and I wanted to get like a femme ginger midget mullet, like try and get as many boxes checked. You know what they call that now, but whatever. I had this thing like picking on gingers because I'm colorblind, so it's funny because it's so stupid because I can't even see red.
You got to pick on somebody.
Well, it was my like eschatological type of exercise where I would show how stupid prejudices are by trying to find the most ridiculous one. Like it's like picking on people for being left-handed. Who gives a fuck, right? But like that's how dumb I think the rest of them are. But whatever.
Yeah,
And it was also I was like, look at this. I can pick on a subgroup of Caucasians all day with no censorship. But if I was to do that to some other group, just as obviously jokingly as I do for gingers, I would get banned immediately.
No, it's 100% true.
Yeah. And so I was using it as an exit. Like, if anybody really thinks I hate redheads, you're retarded. It's just a funny thing to do. Now I'm on this like anti-Canada stuff. It's not
Redheads
really
or Jews?
dude. Redheads are the worst. They're spawn of Satan.
No,
Like,
I make fun of
like,
Canada a lot too, but like they're like my little brother is why. Like if
because
someone else makes
you don't
fun of them,
actually
it's like,
hate them.
yeah,
Just
because it's
Air
like it's just
Canada.
fun
I
to
don't
pick
like
on
them.
them. Yeah,
It's
right.
just I don't know. I was using it as like I always pick on Lindsey Graham, and
Oh
he
God, he
legitimately
deserves
does
it.
suck. He does.
No,
But there are plenty of
he does.
people equivalently evil as him.
He's
John
pretty
Bolton
bad
or
though.
dude Lindsey Graham is a
He
he's just
looks like he
he.
likes little boys.
I just made a
I'm
song
speculating that he does.
about Patrick Bet David and Charlie Kirk and Lindsey Graham.
I
It's
You'd have to send me that.
it's
You need
called
to send me
Finger in
that.
the Bum. I'll send it to you. It's pretty
Well,
nasty.
I
Like,
didn't think we are gonna go this long. Someone has the studio booked right after. So before we
oh man,
wrap
I was
up,
gonna roll off the Lindsey Graham
yeah.
jokes. It's
No, no, no,
okay.
go. A couple. We got like 5 minutes. Give me a couple Lindsey Graham
We
jokes.
just
I
saying
just see
like, look,
I see the guy looking over. I didn't think we were gonna go this long, so I thought we were
Lindsey
too.
Graham is the only guy at a bathhouse with his own entrance music. Like, Lindsey Graham's the kind of
David, Patrick Bet David.
work, you know.
You're
Guy's
like,
queer as a football bat.
he's so queer. He's like the gayest
We
dude
say
ever.
Lindsey Graham's so far in the closet he can see Narnia from his rearview mirror.
Yeah,
He's so
dude.
deep in there, James Webb couldn't find him. It's the satellite that can see infrared, not a satellite, telescope. Yeah, Lindsey Graham's. We always say he drinks bottled water with both hands. He'd come in and order unsweetened iced tea. You know what
He's that type of
means.
guy.
Down south, that means you're either a Yankee or you're gay, and it's hard to tell the difference.
Mm.
He does. He does seem like he'd be in a choir boys or something though. He's always says like
definitely seems
Israel.
he likes little boys.
There's a guy
He
running
has that
against
look to me
him
like
named Lynch. I don't know if it's
I'll
Mike
vote
Lynch
for
or
him
Mark Lynch.
regardless.
I'm voting anti. I'm just whoever's not Lindsey Graham. That's who I want to win in South
Yeah, like
Carolina.
whoever's not him, I don't even know anything else about him. I would just vote for that person.
Yeah, vote for Lynch because he's not Lindsey Graham. That's a great slogan for him. I'm not
That's a
Lindsey
great
Graham.
slogan.
I'm running for Senate, and I'm
Vote
not
for me.
Lindsey Graham.
That's brilliant. So,
Lindsey Graham complained about money to Israel. There was this huge hurricane that hurt the Carolinas, a little bit of Tennessee. It was awful. And there's in the background, there's like a roof floating down a river from someone that just lost their whole house. And Lindsey Graham's up there saying, "We need more money and support for Israel." I was like, someone
So
should drown
disgusting.
you. You should.
That would
You're
be
watching like
that'd be
these are your
too nice a way for him to
constituents.
go.
Their homes are flooding down what was a road and is now a river, and you're talking about Israel. What a
Yeah, I
they
really just
really got
wish
him.
our politicians would fight for America the way they fight for Israel, because they clearly don't. It's like very clear.
Yeah,
that,
ladies, find a man that looks at you the way Macron looks at young Caribbean boys. Have you seen those
I got a
photos?
I haven't, but I have a bad image in my head now. That's just, is it bad or what?
He's very excited.
He seems like he would like Caribbean boys.
He's like Robert Kraft at a Chinese restaurant.
Robert Kraft.
I don't know why I'm
Ling
picking
Ling.
on him.
I
All the
think-
rest of them are worse than him.
I want to make a romantic comedy about him. Robert Kraft and Ling Ling. It's like a love story.
Yeah, Ling Ling. It sounds better. Change the names a little.
Make Ling Ling. You got to make her a little bit too chunky, a little bit old. She can't be very pretty.
That's exactly what it was. Like if you look her up, one eye's.
When you said it was a mall.
Like it's like a thing, like a pretty much a mall.
He was probably around just such awful people that she like had like not evil energy, and he's just like, wow, this person's so amazing. She's like talking to me, she's listening to me. Just imagine the people that guy was probably around his day-to-day
He
life.
got a massage first. It probably really, really needed skinship. Like that, I think people just need a certain degree of pheromones and whatever. And it's just if you're getting a massage, make sure it's a real thing, not some
Not Ling
Chinese
Ling.
strip mall It's not like, okay, not like Thai massage or Chinese or whatever. It's like, I'm not saying they're all hand job places. But this one definitely was. And he knew that because and then he returned to it. So like,
Over and
how
over
could you
and
not
over
look
and over again.
around the shop and not understand what's going on? That these people are forced to be there. You think
Wonder
they
if he
flew
got
here from
jealous over
China
her
to
and
do
all and
this?
her other
They could do that
Johns.
at home. You know, they don't need to come down here and jerk off weirdos. Like,
Robert Kraft. So all right, before we
but
wrap
that's
up,
what
where
people
can
are going to take away from this podcast. Not Nygard, not
yeah,
Miller.
those are the more
Not,
important ones.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like Robert Kraft's a simp.
yeah, exactly. Not the dudes that are raping men, the poop parties,
Yeah,
makes it
Mike
all
Jeffries with
tied
his
in with this Epstein,
saltwater enemas and liquid
Wexner.
Viagra and all that. And
Yeah,
the
the
hockey bag. Yeah.
connection.
Nah, Robert Kraft said she's into me. I got something special. That's like more shocking than the poop
That
fetish
is more
and all the
shocking
rest
than
of
the
it.
kids
It
getting
is.
kids
Like,
getting like
what?
raped. We're like, what? Wait, is Lex
Yeah.
Wexner? He's still alive, right? He's kind of
He
disappeared.
is.
David and Charlie Kirk got asses in the air and faces in the dirt. Always kiss up to power, so lift up your skirt. Just let him come inside, it won't hurt. They can make a human centipede for Israeli lies. Kirk comes to taint and David's cheeks are wide. Sputter BS denying genocide. They both love the taste inside as the shit logs continue to slide and slide. Neither has an ounce of pride. It doesn't matter how many children have died. Every pedophile can continue to hide. They will excuse it, you know what I'm saying? They fingered the butt, then Lindsey Graham. They'll swallow the sack as long as they're paying. They can make a human centipede for Israeli lies. Kirk comes to taint and David's cheeks are wide. Sputter BS denying genocide. They can make a human centipede for Israeli lies. Kirk comes to taint and David's cheeks are wide. Two cucks denying genocide.
Of a lot of his businesses, the heat from this has gotten to him, and he
So he
had to
has to,
sell
like-
Abercrombie, of course. But that's because of what Jeffries did. But the other Jeffrey, Mike Jeffrey, but the stress is getting to him. He's been accused of sexual harassment by some of his
Shocking.
employees.
That's
And
really
it's
shocking
like
to
with
me.
all this, I believe them. I think that's
Yes, I
probably
would
got
think
good
so.
credence to it.
Would you say he was more the boss? Last question, more the boss of Epstein, or is it way more complicated than that?
He is. Hey, you can catch the end of that by going to Jake Shields' channels. One's on YouTube, one's on Rumble. You just fast forward, catch the end of it. I got to go. I'm doing 9/11 stuff. 9/11's in 2 days. We're pushing on the film. I think we'll have something out on the 11th, but we're going to have like a trailer, but we need a few more days and we're working on the map. So end of September, maybe like 20th, something like that is when it's going to come out. We tried to get it by the 11th, but it's just, better done right than to rush it just to get it on the anniversary. It's not that it doesn't really matter. So Jake Shields, you can find him on Twitter. You can find him on YouTube, knock on wood. He also has a Rumble channel. He's got the Fight Back podcast. I'm looking at Entropy. I don't think we got anything. And no shekel chats on Rumble, which is good because Rumble only pays through PayPal now, which I cannot use. So that's that. Yeah, I gotta start work on this. So stream's ending. There was a bit more, like 7 or 8 minutes recap stuff, and you can go watch that on Jake's channel. Peace. I hope you like that song. That music video was from someone I hired out of university.com, Andrew Tate's thing. They let you hire each other. And so I was like, I wrote the song. I had AI sing it, and then they made the the visuals. It was pretty good. All right, peace.